What's going on, Dennis Bermudez?
Hi, Stan.
How are you today? Episode
Pretty good.
110 of Menace and the Man.
Yeah, 110. I think it's going to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, people don't live to be 110 years old, right?
Yeah, so one thing I was thinking about, you know how I give you a call on Tuesdays on my way home from work?
Uh-huh.
Is we should go live.
I've been saying this, yes.
Hang on like
Instagram
or something like that, in that little dumb convo, because we pretty much talk about the blueprint of the episode.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And like what we're going to talk about, right?
Yes. And one of our funniest things ever, in my opinion, was
you
that
have no volume.
I have no volume? Now I have volume, right?
What'd you do?
Oh, I muted myself. I hit the button.
Yikes.
I was going to say, one of our funniest things ever, I feel, was that car ride when we went through the ring announcing.
So, God wants both the call in and the video link just in case
it comes up.
Yeah.
All right. I like that, Adam. But yeah, busy week in fighting and combat sports between wrestling, boxing. Have you seen all the crazy boxing news? De La Hoya is coming back. The Jake Paul Askren fight, that thing is sizzling. That thing's everywhere. I saw a video with Chael talking about how good of numbers it's doing, like all of its YouTube videos and Instagram and shit. Everything they post does millions.
I mean, the man is... I mean, he also, like they said in the presser, like a piece of why Jake Paul picked Ben Askren is his ability to
sell a fight.
Yeah. And his wittiness and
what comes in the situation of are you in over your head? Because like we were talking about before we went on air, is Ben Askren might not be the one. He's an Olympian. Do you know what it takes? You do. I'm saying the average person. Do you know what it takes to become an Olympian?
I also think, yes, there is. What does it take to be Olympian? There's also like, in that is like, you were kind of, you have genes to become an Olympian.
All right. What do you mean by that?
Well,
a lot of people had those genes that didn't make it.
I don't think the average man could become an Olympian, yet alone people like, okay, you have genes to become an Olympian, you do. Now with that, put in the work to become an Olympian too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what separates people. Nobody's an Olympian on just talent. Like, oh, he was really good, so he won the Olympics, but he never trained. He never did anything.
Yeah.
Those people don't exist.
It's you sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, like I just saw something recently, and I forget who it was. It was a British boxer, and he was like, I don't even know my kid. He was like, he had like an infant kid. He was like, I don't even know the kid. He's like, I've been in training camp for like 2 years with all these back-to-back fights. He's like, I don't even know my son. So right now I'm taking off just to get to know my son. And that's real. That's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I remember you even said that. Like it was like your sacrifice is like, all right, so the little bit of time that I do have to spend with them, I almost can't because I'm not even there physically.
I might be physically there, but like I'm mentally and physically checked out.
Yes.
From, the due diligence of training.
Yes. One of my favorite lines you said is you were like, when you're in fight camp, sometimes when you play dead with your kids, you just take a nap. Like bang, bang.
Yeah. They would shoot me, and I would just be like, all right, I could stay down for a half hour. Just conk a little nap in here.
I think I got them right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you watch the fights this past weekend?
I did.
Oh, my goodness. Stipe.
Yeah.
We both picked. I picked Stipe. I forget who you picked. I think you picked Stipe.
I picked Stipe as well. Stipe was the underdog in the betting on the cards, right?
Not by much. And people were saying that was surprising. This is the first time that maybe you can kind of cash in on Ngannou because every fight he's such a big favorite.
Yeah.
But I was rooting for Stipe. I wanted Stipe to win that fight.
Yeah.
And
I would have had to see a little inside on Ngannou's training, except for like mitts. I would want to see his like wrestling.
Bro, apparently he was working his wrestling with Usman diligently. They after the fight, I saw some video where he was working those exact sprawls, and Usman was saying like head in the center, things that Cern would always preach, like how do you stuff a takedown, fuck their posture up. That's what Usman was basically teaching.
Yeah, but hang on, but he was out in Vegas for a while.
Even if it's those little details, I don't know if it was before the fight or if every time he sees them.
Yeah, that is something that's pretty quick that you could teach someone how to do. Like, bro. Okay, let me add this little
detail, little
sprawl, and it will make a huge difference. Yes,
bro, that was Sermonara, I thought. So I'm sure a lot of high-level wrestling coaches like that are like, yeah. Move your head 2 inches a little bit that way and drive that way instead of this way. And
every high-end wrestler knows that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like even when I worked with CERN, the little adjustments he would show me, I'd be like, wow, I wish I learned it that way on day one instead of doing it wrong or doing it more difficult for 10 years.
Right. When they teach you, like when I first started wrestling, it was cross-facing sprawl.
Yeah.
Which you're like kind of bringing them up into like finish the shot a little bit.
When you cross-facing. That's a conversation I saw lately.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends who you're cross-facing.
I mean, this could almost turn into, I got to actually shoot those other messages, like a wrestling episode. But I saw this one debate about a head outside single versus a head inside single.
In what?
In both. In wrestling and in MMA. Like they were saying, in MMA, you obviously want to shoot head inside to avoid a guillotine and kind of drive through somebody, but there is also room for a head outside in MMA.
Well, I would shoot both. The head inside, it's as long as you don't stop, there's no way for them to like get a guillotine.
Yeah.
With your head outside, if they jump for a guillotine, you gotta be like, okay, buddy, guess you're going to outer space.
Yeah.
When you lift them and you're the thought of landing on their head, if they want to hang on to it.
I've been playing phone tag with Ty. Let's see if Ty jumps in. He might.
Wow. At Duvasa. Is he... Do you know where he is? Is he in Australia?
I think he's on the...
Quarantine?
I think he's still in the country. I think he was working with... He trains with AKA when he's in America. So I don't know if he's still here or if he hasn't left yet. He's in the beginning stages of traveling back. Who was the other one? Oh, Lance. But
You're packing this. We go from 0 guests to 4.
Well, let's see. Lance and RBY was supposed to be last week, but
right.
But UFC 260. Let's just go back into recapping that before we get a guest in. What do you think? You think what will be next for Ngannou? This will obviously be a big conversation coming up in the next couple months. We were talking about it.
For him?
I think he rematches Stipe. I think that Stipe deserves it. And you weren't sure if Stipe wanted it. Stipe posted, like, I'll see you again. You got me this time. And Stipe said, I knew I needed to fight the perfect fight. Like, I made one mistake.
Yeah. He's
But like we also talked about, they're different weight classes.
Yes. Because Ngannou is 30 to 40 pounds heavier. Not just weight. 30 of muscle. Like legit muscle.
Yeah.
And that was Stipe's like strong point for a long time, was his ability to move like a 185 pounder at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Even though he's giving up weight. But this guy, I think if Francis Ngannou wanted to play in the NFL like next year.
No, we saw that with, I think Brock is a super athlete like that too, and he could make the practice squad in the NFL.
Okay.
It's like same thing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time, a super athlete. He could do okay in minor league baseball. Ngannou could make it to the NFL in a few years. Like Brock Lesnar would have made it to the NFL in a few years, just not right. Not walking.
Arms are not only like big muscular wise. Once it gets to his elbows, his forearms shoot out like it seems like 3 feet.
What do they say he used to do? He used to like dig sand, like or work in mines.
Do you think that was like an adaptation? Like he evolved?
He probably has crazy forearms and gorilla strength because he used to do something.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is the length from his elbow to his hands.
Have you ever been around in Ghana?
In passing.
And in like the beginning. He's always been thick. He's always been this thick.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying he wasn't, but I'm talking about like when you watch him fight, he's got his arms here. It just seems like his hands are like his arms bent like this, but his like forearms are so much longer for just like reach. What's his reach?
Oh.
Yeah, I think it says he only has like 2 inches on Stipe, but it looks
I think Stipe has
longer.
I think Stipe has a long reach as well. That's the thing too. Stipe's not little. No, they're saying Ngannou's got an 83-inch reach, and they're saying Stipe's got an 80. And then just off topic, and then we're going to swirl back to 260 because Anderson Silva's up here with his 77.5-inch reach, and then Max Holloway with his 69-inch reach. But Anderson Silva is coming back to fight. He's going to box because everyone's coming to boxing for some reason. Dennis Bermudez might be next, but Anderson Silva is going to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So I said to you, you know this guy, and you were like, it sounds familiar. Yeah. His dad is like the legend in boxing.
And then the son was
good, but it's obviously hard.
Was the son a world champion?
Maybe like a WBO, like a minor title, like nothing. He wasn't the world champ, like undisputed world champ. So June 19th. So yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez.
What promotion?
I don't know if it's Triller. I think it's some Mexican promotion. Because then this is going to be the undercard, Anderson Silva versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. The main event is going to be a boxing exhibition between Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., the old man, and Hector Camacho Jr., the son. Because Hector Camacho used to have a rivalry with the Mexican fighters and with Julio Cesar Chavez, like the Puerto Rican-Mexican rivalry, basically.
Yeah.
They're basically doing that, but with the son as opposed to the dad. Or the son's going to fight the dad.
Let's go, Puerto Rico. Here's my question.
So you're rooting for the Camachos.
Yeah. When there's a Mexican fighting a Puerto Rican, who's the Wheaties guy again?
The Wheaties guy.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is the Wheaties guy?
The only MMA fighter to be on the Wheaties box.
Anthony Pettis.
Who does Anthony Pettis go for?
Why is he Puerto Rican and Mexican? He's half and half?
Pretty sure.
I don't know. Who would you go for?
He looks way more Puerto Rican.
He just looks like a tan Mexican. He could also be a tan Mexican. He has like a little bit darker skin than Mexicans I've seen. We can't even get into that because then obviously we're going to start saying dumb shit.
You're racist.
Yeah. I got Spanish friends. I sleep with Spanish women. Not a racist.
All right, so real quick, back to Stipe Francis Ngannou. My take on the fight, right? So I'm watching it. Because I know Stipe doesn't really give 2 fucks. He's just like, he's a man's man.
He fights for money. Yeah,
right.
He's like,
I don't think he needs to fight.
No, I'm saying this is a job to him. It's not like fighting doesn't consume his life, I don't think. It does
right.
Because he's obviously training for fights, but he's not like, similar. I'd almost say similar to you when you fought. Like, I don't think Stipe watches fights. I don't think he
Right. So he just looked super uncomfortable in that first round. I'm like, Well, and even the judges, and I feel like the whole crowd went like, oh, when Stipe took that hard, committed shot, and Francis was like,
stuffed.
nah. And then off of that, Francis does a fucking like hip switch back take. I was like,
oh, you didn't know I learned to wrestle. I learned to wrestle.
Like, I was like, wow.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Like, the way he defended the takedown, Stipe didn't even have a transition to go to. Other than
he could have maybe tried to like do like a butt scoot out of side, but again, he was so sprawled out that. So back to that, like, I would have liked to seen a better setup. It was like a fake high jab and then a low like dive, if you will, for a double.
Yeah, I think to take Ngannou down, it's got to be like a hard, committed right hand.
Well, you got to like offset him and then to a nice like knee penetration, high crotch. You know what I mean? Or get him even a fake. So that's where I thought Stipe messed up too, was he had already committed a real shot. Like, hey, big dude, I will shoot on you. Just so, like, that's all that's out there. He took the shot, he got stuffed. But, like, now the fakes are really believable had he thrown some fakes, some fake shots. That also could open up his striking and a lot of things. That's one. Two, like we were talking about, Ngannou has very long arms, right? But Ngannou's arms are not longer than Stipe's legs. Where the fuck were some push kicks?
Ngannou was throwing kicks.
I know.
I think, yeah, Stipe didn't look comfortable from the get-go, but even
against... What did he throw? He threw like 4 calf kicks.
I think against Ngannou, though, you kind of go, I'm not going to win the first round. Like, I'm going to kind of I need to just make him work the first round and not die. He's one of those type of fighters, I think, because he's so explosive.
And then I thought in between rounds, he was like, well, I'm not going to win this fight doing what I'm doing right now. I need to engage more. And it looks like he started to get in there in the pocket with a little bit more and throwing some punches. And as we spoke about before, I don't think he was wrong on Francis missed. He hit him flush. Francis got like a little staggered. We're like, that's a cue. Like, attack. You know, that's like, you know, I don't. And I think he said something along the lines that, like, there was like he doesn't really regret coming in as aggressive as he did, even though he should have been a little more cautious.
Yeah, he's the fucking baddest man on the planet, too, for years. He's the best heavyweight of all time. He's not going to, you know, it wasn't a bad decision for him to go after someone. He very easily, even though people think Ngannou can't be knocked out, anyone can. He could have caught Ngannou or rocked Ngannou again. He just happened to walk into this, Ngannou not even like throwing a crazy left hook, just kind of flinging his arm out there. It was a left hooking motion, but it wasn't like he just touched Stipe. Caught Stipe coming in. And Stipe crumbled.
That would be so fucking cool if you just like touch things and they just like
I hate the way
fell down and broke.
Me especially having broken my leg. I hated the way Stipe fell.
Oh, dude, I
hate when I see fighters fall like that.
He somehow like came up to his toes and fell over.
He did like a ballerina move almost. Like was on his toes, bended foot, and then luckily he said those.
Still, like, I'm not exactly sure how that happened.
I have to think many knockouts I've seen, like guys get knocked out and they probably wake up and they're like, what the fuck happened to my knee? Like, what the fuck happened to my ankle? Like, you know, I'm all fucked up. Like, I always think of Crow Cop's the greatest example. When he got knocked out with a head kick, his leg twisted back the other way.
Yeah.
And I think he like blew his meniscus and some shit like that.
Fighting in general, dude, I would come out of a fight and I'd be like, why is my elbow like, why is this radiating pain come from my elbow? Like, because you elbowed him in the head. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you don't even remember it.
Yeah.
But UFC 260. We'll get back to who's next for Ngannou, and then we'll talk about your boy Luque. You saw that fight. I love Luque. I was rooting for Luque hard in that one. And then it was a great fight. And then you kind of even, the way the fight played out, you saw that. You saw Woodley go, all right, I think I got this, too early. Luque's not the one to be like, all right, I think I got this one in the bag.
Well, he got him stanky-legged a little bit.
He rocked this whole shit, and Woodley hits hard. So if Woodley catches you, you got to think of all the people Woodley's flatlined.
Hang on, it's almost like what happened that fight happened in the next fight, in the Stipe Ngannou fight.
Yeah.
Like, oh, got him. Let me clean up shop. Nope. Bang.
But Luque, that's like, it's always been Damian Maia and was the gatekeeper. If you beat Damian Maia, you're in title talks. Now it's turned into Tyron Woodley. If you beat Woodley, you're in title talks. Like, we talked about this the last episode. Luque now, it might be the contender or one fight away from.
Who'd he call out? Oh, he called out Nate Diaz.
Yes, big money fight. But with his last loss is Wonder Boy in 2019, and even Wonder Boy, I think, has only fought twice since then. So he's 3-0 since then.
If you ask me,
listen, the Diaz brothers, they're tough, they're marketable. I get it. However, in terms of what they deserve, Luque is the level that he deserves. He doesn't deserve to come in and,
I mean, yeah, Luque.
I didn't say Luque deserves more than whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying right now.
Luque's calling down.
But because of the name value and the way the sport works, especially lately, you beat the Diaz brother, you stand up and be like, I want a title shot after. We've seen it work.
Now you have star power.
Yeah, we've seen it work for Masvidal.
Does Nate want that smoke?
No.
is there?
I don't think. I don't think Nate.
He's pretty vocal on social media.
I don't think Nate minds who it is. I don't think Nate minds who it is as far as like the person, the face. I think Nate wants a bigger fight, like a bigger name. Maybe if they make him and Luque a main event of a fight night or a co-main event of a big pay-per-view, maybe, because right now they have Luque at 6. Thompson's 5. He fought Thompson to a really close fight. Masvidal's 4, who's about to get a title shot. Leon's 3, who's ducking Bilal Muhammad. Gilbert Burns is number 2. Colby's number 1. So
he's ducking Bilal?
Pretty much, yeah. He does. He, after the fight, he was like, yeah, I don't think we need to run that one back. And everyone was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You poked him in the eye. You know what they need to do? They need to just treat that fight like, okay, so we're going to run this one back. Bilal versus Leon Edwards. Oh, Leon, you don't want the fight? Okay, you're going to take Bilal's ranking. Bilal's going to take your ranking. Or do you want the fight? And then when he goes, whatever his excuse would be, like, oh, I want the fight or I don't want the fight. But all right, so Bilal, you're number 3 now. You know, that's kind of like a wrestling match, I feel. If you don't show up, you forfeit.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many? I heard that Covington, actually, they're saying Covington turned down Leon Edwards. But you know, when you're number 1, you want a title shot. He wants a title shot.
Because you know how they make like
not celebrity fights, but big money fights or whatever.
Yeah, well,
what if they did a bracket, right? They did like a legit bracket to get to the title where they could fill this bracket with wild cards if they want.
Okay.
Whether someone doesn't want to fight or someone gets hurt. Yeah. Let's say they had 1 through 8, right? Fight, and then Tyron's like, man, I'm hurt. Okay, Nate, you're in.
Yeah, I think the UFC could easily, for contenders, for the number 1 contender or the number 1 contender after the number 1 contender, they should do almost like what Bellator used to do and have little mini tournaments, little mini seasons where they take the top 8 or 8 of the top 10 or 8 of the top 15. Are you available? Oh, you're hurt? You're out. Are you available? Oh, you're good? All right, you're in, you know? And they do a little tournament.
I feel like if that's the tournament, Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor in their respective weight classes are always in it, whether they win or lose.
Those are 2 names that can be like, 185, put me in. And no matter what, you're going to be like, all right, we'll give them that. whatever weight class they want to be in, they're going to throw them in. Same thing with Masvidal.
Anyways, it was a sick fight. I thought they could have called, even though he didn't fall down. I'm like, Woodley fight probably could have been called earlier.
Maybe, but you saw Woodley. Woodley's a dog. Woodley still has some fight in him. When Woodley was out and wobbling and going all over the cage, when Luque got close to him, he was throwing back.
Yeah, but
he was out of it throwing back, but he was throwing back.
I think there are certain people that's just built into their DNA. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm in the same ballpark as Woodley, but like there are times I would get clobbered and I don't remember 10 seconds of that fight, but I come out and rewatch the fight.
I would throw you in that same ballpark as a Woodley.
But there's some people that when they get hit, like in the state that Woodley's in, they just like either fall down.
For instance, what do you remember immediately after you bounced off the canvas against Mac Rice? Anything? Like that's an example.
I just remember kind of like being really out of breath and being like, and just be like, I gotta get some distance right now.
And being like, what the fuck just happened? Like a little bit, like what just happened right there?
Yeah.
Like I also remember a funny story you told was the Max Holloway when you were like, why is he throwing spinning stuff? And then you went back to the corner and you're like, what did he hit me with, a punch? And they were like, no, a spinning back.
Spinning back. I'm like, whoa.
You're like, I remember him throwing spinning shit. I didn't realize it hit.
And I don't know, it was tough for me to watch the Woodley fight just because I'm like, like I said, I like Vicente, but like I don't know, there was a piece of me like, I felt bad for him, kind of.
I always liked Woodley. I didn't like Woodley until, started not liking Woodley, if you will, when he started rapping, when he started going outside of fighting too much, like TMZ. I want fighters to do stuff like that, but like it changed how Woodley fought. As soon as he started doing that stuff, it wasn't the same fight. Like I don't want to say, like you see in movies, pretty much like Rocky. That was Rocky 3 right there. He's not going to have that same comeback like Rocky 3. Most likely not, unless he does it in Bellator. But he got rich, he got money, he got more comfortable, probably trained a little bit less, had more appearances to do. Wasn't the same guy stepping in the cage every time.
Yeah. I loved he came out fast. I'm like, okay, here we go.
But like I said, he cracked Luque. Luque was like, I'm not the one. I'm in this, like I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Sick fight by Luque. Well-deserved.
So, Luque had a very close fight with Wonderboy, and Wonderboy's number 5, Masvidal's 4. You could easily say Luque is potentially a top 5, top 3 guy. You could do Luque versus...
Wonderboy gets the title fight before Vicente.
Yes, but no, maybe not. Wonderboy hasn't fought. Wonderboy's only fought once since the Luque fight. Luque's fought 3 times. Luque's 3-0, Wonderboy's 1-0. Wonderboy beat Jeff Neal. Luque's just finished Woodley, finished Randy Brown, and he finished Nico Price. And they love finishing.
Yes.
He's got a fight of the night and a performance of the night. So Luque's hot right now for them. I could see them being like, if Leon Edwards doesn't want to fight Bilal, they're going to be like, hey, you want to fight Luque? And when he's like, no, they're going to be like, all right, Colby, you want to fight Luque? And then you know how the UFC does it. Luque might become the number 1 contender by people turning him down right now. Or he'll get that one fight, and he's one fight away if he wins his next fight. And then it's him versus Usman, if Usman gets past Masvidal. But I wonder how those rounds used to go. Luque versus Usman. I'm sure they've done a good amount of rounds together, too.
Oh, for sure. And then the Coco main event, Sean O'Malley versus Thomas Almeida. Almeida, like you said before, Cody, no love, took some of his soul that night that he knocked him out. Like, he hasn't been the same fighter since, at all.
No, he's actually, since then, he's lost 4 in a row right now. So that O'Malley...
He was, on the rise to, a title shot, for sure.
Him versus Cody was 21-0 versus, I forget what Cody was at the time, but undefeated.
I think Cody might have had a 0 as well. Was it like a
yeah, Cody was like 10-0 or something at that point, I believe. Cody was 9-0 at the time, or 8-0. So they were both undefeated, and he was probably supposed to beat Cody, like on paper, you know.
Yeah.
And Cody caught him, starched him, and then he won his next fight. And since then, lost Jimmy Rivera, Rob Font, Jonathan Martinez, and now Sean O'Malley.
All fucking tough guys, yeah. But I'm in a group text with my wrestling buddies, and they were like, Sean O'Malley, like, this kid's a star. He can be really good. I'm like, I think he could be champion. I was like, whoa, pump the brakes. Champion?
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
Whoa, you're on that?
No.
Yeah, I was like,
Eventually, but so far, no. Even
I said the top 5. He cannot beat the top 5 guys in the division. I started naming them. I just started naming guys, and I was like, I was up to like 8, and I was like, I named them. Like, I think all these guys beat O'Malley.
I think
and
that.
Then I thought, and then I started looking at like UFC roster. I added like 2 more guys. I'm like, okay, sorry, my bad. Top 10 guys, I think, beat O'Malley. Now, I'm not saying that they're
O'Malley's still young. He's still young though. He can get there. But
I also think of in the top 10, there are some that could definitely see going his way. So I don't know if you heard, Dominic Cruz reached out and was like, I want a piece of that ass. Which I love that.
Yeah. But
that's a great.
But so now the UFC can do that fight one of 2 ways. They want to drop the ball and make it a 3-rounder, or they give them a main event and they make that fight a 5-round.
I think it has to be a main event, no?
Well, if they put it on a pay-per-view, it wouldn't be a main event.
Yes, for sure.
And I think they have O'Malley.
Sure.
It seems like they have O'Malley in that pay-per-view mode right now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I guess O'Malley draws to them. So O'Malley, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His last 5 fights have all been pay-per-view.
Okay. On the main card?
Main card, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
I only made the main card like once, if I made it.
Wasn't you versus Stevens wasn't main card?
Lamas, I think. Oh, were we Stevens?
Yeah, you and
both of those.
You and Stevens were the swing fight or the feature fight that night. Because you remember, you and Stevens happened, then it was like, okay, we got fight of the night, and then Robbie Lawler versus what's his name? Or not Robbie Lawler. What was the next one?
Oh, so where were we? Co-main?
Yeah, you guys were the 3rd fight. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. What was that? UFC 189?
I don't know. That was Chad Mendes versus Connor.
Yeah, and then Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald was on that fight too. The crazy fucking war.
Yeah.
And that was the fight that was like, oh no, you guys were the swing fight.
Yeah. But hang on, I thought Sean O'Malley looked awesome. I'm not gonna the way he uses his range and he waits for shit, and I thought he was getting a little fancy with some shit where bro, that's kind of shit can lose you fights. Well, for example, our boy fucking Ashik trying for the walk off.
Well, you saw it. The commentators were kind of trying to foreshadow that. And they were saying, oh, well, now you know it might happen. Oh, wait, is it happening now? Okay, Almeida looks good. And they started O'Malley was fucking him up the whole time. But even when Almeida started staying alive, they were almost like, okay, here we go. Oh, Almeida's doing something now. I was like, no, he's staying alive. But he was dead. And O'Malley didn't finish him by trying to walk off. The referee would have jumped right in if he would have jumped in and started swarming.
The ref kind of got Almeida killed.
Yes.
Because the ref was like, no, you're not the ref did not want him to have a walk off.
Yeah.
Right? Hang on, that very first one where he did walk off, very well, okay, that's a walk off. The dude fell to his ass against the cage. And
Almeida's
It
tough.
wasn't until you change directions to come back to him.
Almeida popped right up.
No, he did not.
No, when he sat down, he popped right up.
Bro, he sat there. It's when O'Malley started walking away, and the guy's like, keep fighting, and changed directions to come back to Almeida. The Almeida was like, oh, it's still on. Let me get the fuck up.
I'd have to rewatch it. So you'd say that what's-his-name thought that it was over?
Almeida?
Almeida thought it was over.
I don't think Almeida was home. Uh-oh, bad guy Inc.
Yeah, he might not have been home.
He might have waited for the cameo.
I don't know.
I was.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, holy shnikes!
Is that for little old me? Is that the greeting for little old me? Huh? That was very nice. Appreciate that. What's up, dudes?
What is this setup? Is amazing.
Oh, thanks,
You feel
buddy.
blessed.
I'm at the studio. I told you I was trying to get here. Are we doing this? Is this the thing? Are we doing this?
We're always in it.
Okay. All right. By the way, I was trying to get here. I appreciate the invite. Fill me in. What are we talking about?
So I was just talking about Sean O'Malley versus Almeida, the first walk-off attempt he tried. I think it was there. Like, the ref shot probably should have been like, yep, done. Almeida definitely stayed with it and showed that I'm still here. And then the ref the second time was like, finish him. Where Almeida was not home. That was like a free shot. I was like, ugh. He didn't see that thing coming and just landed flush.
I agree. So let me bring you up to speed because O'Malley's done something since. So O'Malley does what he thought was going to be the Mark Hunt, the walk-away knockout. And Michael Bisping came and weighed in on that. And he said to O'Malley, he said, hey, that's an immaturity. Don't do that again. Don't try to look cool. Take care of business. O'Malley came out and said, no, you're misinterpreting. I was never trying to walk away knockout. I don't want a TKO. I was allowing him to get back to his feet so I could have a highlight reel knockout. Now, I think that Sugar Sean is rewriting history into his favor, but I don't care. That's fascinating. That's a great line that he said. I wanted him back on his feet. All right.
That is a great line, yes.
That is witty. By the way, those chairs look like extremely comfortable. Are those as comfortable as they look? The chair you're sitting in, that looks excellent.
Which one are you talking about? Dennis's or mine?
Yeah, aren't they the same? I'm just looking at it. I like the beige. I like the
race
color.
car. He's got a legit. He's
these are like
the Scarface life right now.
Yeah, these are like leather recliners. You know what happened, Chael? I wound up beating up a guy, and it wound up turning into me getting a condo on the beach somehow.
Really?
I got assaulted and had to defend myself against an attacker, and then I moved on up.
There's just so many questions. I have so many questions as to what the hell you're talking about. I mean, I just really
we're here to talk to the largest arms in Westland, Oregon.
I know that's right. I know that one for each of you, gentlemen.
Oh, so even Chael, a video I watched like right before we went live, and something me and Menace were talking about is this Logan or Jake Paul Ben Askren fight.
Yep.
I'm as in as you. Like, I'm sold. I can't wait to see this. I want to see how it's going to play out. I'm obviously going with Ben, but I have that. Me and Dennis both have that. Oh, please, Ben, don't let this.
So Chael, you know sports, you know combat sports. Is there a chance? And I'm not saying that like the Paul brothers, they got enough money to do whatever they want. Can the judges be bought if it goes to a decision?
That's a very interesting. I wasn't fearing that. I mean, this is in Florida. They've got a very upstanding commission, so I wouldn't think we would go down that road. But I will suggest for you that I don't see this as a boxing contest. I think Paul's showing up to box, but Askren's a competitor. Askren's going to show up to compete. He's going to show up to push you and pull on you and make heart rate and make grit and toughness a thing. I just think that Paul is misinterpreting that. And many people that are betting on Paul, who's shockingly the favorite as of right now, I think also think that they're going out to there to box and they're arguing that Paul is a cleaner, more crisp boxer. But you know what I'm saying? Askren's a competitor. Askren's going to compete. You can pick whatever rules you want. But if you have a competitor who's used to winning, particularly when the lights are on and the people are watching, hard to go against Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Also, the killer.
That, Stan, do we have my bet in?
We will put your bet in. I'm waiting for the odds to get a little bigger. I think they're going to go different because even something else we were saying, Chael. What about the referee? Because you know boxing referees, some of them let them fight the clinch out. A lot of them break it up. So are they going to let Ben get an arm around the head? Let Ben grab the arm and, move him around the ring a little bit. I feel like very easily Jake Paul and Triller can throw a referee in there that every time Ben touches him, they're going to be like, no, break.
Yep. I agree with you. I mean, as I see this fight, though, I see Ben doing that. I see Ben cheating nonstop, constantly pulling on the head, hanging it, maybe even slipping a shot in there, coming right back no matter how many times he gets warned, coming back. And that's another thing we know in boxing. Those refs will give you warnings. They don't ever do anything. You can watch boxers break. The ref will just yell at them all night long and separate them, yell at them and separate, but nothing ever actually happens. I think Ben is going to grab him. I think he is going to slip in a rabbit punch here or there. I think it's going to start to get into Paul's head, and Paul's going to, hey, you told him 5 times to quit doing this. Why is he still doing it? I mean, I think those are part of the things that Ben is going to do to wear this guy out and to break him. That's how I see this.
Yeah. And then when this fight got announced, whatever, Jay Haran, I think, put up a highlight of him fighting Ben Askren. I was like, Jay Haran is a fucking animal with very small gloves and could not land one flush punch on Ben Askren. Granted, wrestling, the threat of a shot was there. But listen, Jay Haran, under the thinking that you could shoot on him, is a better boxer than Jake Paul, knowing that you can't shoot on him, if that makes sense.
Okay, so let me make sure I have this right. So when Jay Haran put out the highlight of him fighting Askren, was he doing that in a way to show the world, hey, this guy knows what was the point of that? Was he taking Ben's side?
No, what I'm saying is Jay Haran, even though you can shoot on him, is a nasty with the hands.
Of course.
Versus if you couldn't shoot on Jay Haran, he would probably be even worse. So what I'm saying is the fact that Ben Askren was able to be in the same cage with him is, he's got hands for days, no matter what the rules are.
I think Jay was saying it in like, he'll be good here.
I fully understand.
Yeah. Sorry,
I'm asking, was Jay's point to shine up Ben's wheels, or are these non-related? You said with a fight was announced.
I don't know what Jay, because I mean, it might just be like, hey, this guy funny. I fought him.
Okay.
I don't know
how to interpret that. I would be very curious. What's Haran doing these days, by the way? I haven't seen him in about 2 years.
Stunt actor.
You've seen him in movies. What was the last movie I saw him in? He was in
the one with Denzel Washington.
Yep.
Denzel killed him in a back seat.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I just saw that, by the way. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He was talking about his own career, but he put up the Ben Askren fight. He was saying one of the hardest things he ever did in his career was winning a world championship. He won the tournament, and then he went into the Ben Askren fight concussed with a broken nose before the bell, and then he just wrote, stay ready. And then he just showed the highlights of his Ben Askren fight.
All right, I got you. And I don't remember that fight. I watched it at the time. I don't remember. Ben didn't have all that hard of a time. I think Ben won every round. Is that how that fight went?
Yeah, he kept getting takedowns and would, clinch. But
it was close, I remember.
The takedown.
It was Ben wrestling him and Jay Haran landing the punches. but nothing significant.
Ben does this awesome thing. I call it the zombie walk, where he kind of walks at you with his hands in front.
Yep.
And he's so fucking hard to hit.
Yep.
I can see him almost like holding mitts for Jake Paul, and Jake Paul getting tired throwing haymakers.
I've asked multiple guys about Ben Askren that either just do jiu-jitsu with him or just wrestle or just box. Tyron Woodley. I asked him, hey, man, is Ben's hands what everybody's saying? And Tyron said, absolutely not. He said, when you spar with him, he's in your face as much as anyone else that's been doing it longer. It's very nice things to say. And that was a private conversation. He had no reason to tell me that unless it were true. T. Wood, who people don't question T. Wood's hands, T. Wood says Ben's got hands.
Yeah, I was saying that to Dennis too. He's seen some of the best ever in MMA, some really good strikers, period, in front of him. And he's been able to, granted, dodge the punches to get a takedown or get a clinch, but he's dodged the punches. He knows how to dodge a punch. He knows how to not get hit flush. And even I heard him say, he's like, the only time he ever been rocked was the Masvidal flying knee. And then I went back and watched his fights. You never really seen him wobbled or hit to where you're like, oh, he's hurt, he's rocked. He's been hit and taken it well. So I'm not going to think Jake Paul's going to hit harder than all those guys that have 30, 40 fights. And
you saw the presser, right?
Yeah.
Was that amazing or?
There was a lot of moving parts there. I mean, Paul was very caught off guard. I've always thought of Paul as a pretty talented guy. However, that's him reading scripts. He's got a level of ability to act, and he's got a level to, give inflection. But when he was up there with no script, and that was the real Paul, I mean, I couldn't believe what a dum-dum we were dealing with. I couldn't believe what little value he brought to that. I guess he's a script guy. He needs a script, but I thought that Askren won the press conference 10-8.
Easy, but it was I tell you what, like 13-year-olds and shit like that watch YouTube probably like, yeah, guy, he was snoring when he was talking, got him. But as like an adult, I saw fear.
Sure.
I saw like, hey, let me get someone who beat you up and let me try and like I think he was throwing all this. He was scared, like interrupting someone while they're talking, with just the flex in his tone. You could almost hear it.
Even the pie face at the end. I mean, Dennis, that threw him off. It took him okay, I better push. I better do something. He didn't know what to do. No, all of this got too real. He marked out for his own gimmick, and now he's about to fight a guy that was a 2-time world champion and is pretty good at fighting. I mean, it is what it is.
So, and I was telling him, listen, you're the best man in Oregon, so I don't know, maybe we're different, but like when signing the contract to fight someone and then 2 weeks out, there's a lot that happens in there in your brain.
Sure.
Where when you sign, like, I'm going to crush this guy, and then trading happens, and like maybe you don't do good or you're not feeling good, and you're like, maybe this guy has a chance. There's this like graph, right?
Yes.
Which I don't know if I don't know what Jake's camp is like. Maybe he has little, punching bags in there where he feels great, which there is something to be said about that.
Sure. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, no, sometimes being naive is a good thing, but you're very right about that, Dennis. You do start to become your own worst critic all the way up to the locker room. You'll be in the locker room and go, all right, next I'm running 5 miles a day. I'm going to be more ready so I don't have to feel this again. It's one of those things. Then your performance goes well, and you go, okay, well, maybe I was a lot to do about nothing, but you're very right. And I think that competitive anxiety is a real part of this match. I mean, I will bet on Ben Askren. I'm not wondering in the least. It's going to be Ben. But one of the reasons I think that is that anxiety. When you get that dump, when you get that rush, when you find yourself in a match harder than you thought it was going to be, you know how to respond to that, Dennis. I've been trained on how to respond to that. Paul doesn't. And it is a bad, bad feeling to be in front of the world and overmatched.
Right.
And I'd imagine Ben's pace, he's gonna feel like he's drowning and breathing in hot air and be like, oh my God, what the fuck? And Ben's not the guy you want to get tired. I'd imagine Ben's gonna be talking shit to him once he gets tired, go into the showing the fans what's up.
Yeah. No, you're spot on, and I think that conditioning is real too. That's a little harder for the audience to see. There's a lot of intangibles that are a little harder for the audience to see. I mean, St. Pierre, who weaponized pace, he absolutely had a weapon that nobody could identify, but his opponents could feel it, which was just his ability to go as hard in the 25th minute as he did in the first 5 minutes. Ben has that. Get in gear and just keep going. Not sprints, not different speeds, good high pace, and hold it all night long. It's going to be a real thing, and Ben's going to get his hands on this guy, and he's going to swarm the guy. I've just seen this too many times in the practice room with a guy who's clumsy and doesn't know what he's doing, and he's clearly overmatched skill for skill, but he's on the other guy. And the other guy, he can't breathe to get out there and look good. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. Paul's going to get swarmed. And you always hear this, well, he's got a puncher's chance. Thank goodness we don't have to hear that boring narrative here. Neither one of these guys has enough power to put the other one down, right? I mean, it's going to be technique. It's going to be skill. It's going to be heart. It's going to be Ben Askren.
Yeah. Menace wants me to put some money on it, Chael, and I'm all about it. I'm going with even Ben's prediction. If Ben's saying 7th round, I'm going, and Ben, I said to Dennis, he has a very realistic perspective of it. He's like, I'm probably going to give away the first round or two. He's going to be hitting me with punches, and I'm just going to be pulling on him, tiring him out. And then you're going to see him get tired. Then you're going to see Ben Askren do what he does.
Oh, Benny said that?
Ben said that.
I might lose the first two. That's great.
Yeah, Ben said he's willing to give it away. He's willing to give away the beginning of the fight to get where he needs to go.
I like what Stan told me. Ben said that he's like, if Jake Paul's actually really a good boxer, I'm going to lose.
And then he said, he's like, but I don't think he is. He's like, I might be wrong, but I don't think he is. And then he always says right after, he's like, what have I been boxing for? Like 8 days, 8 weeks? You know, so.
So real quick, before we got on to Ben Askren, we were talking about Sean O'Malley. Dominic Cruz reached out to you, correct?
Yes. So my story goes, but yes, that is the story that I'm alleging. Correct.
Oh, wait, did Chael just – all right, so maybe there's a chance that Chael just came up with this one and was like, you know what, I'm putting this fight out there.
My version of the story is that Dominic Cruz texted me directly to let the world know he wanted Sean O'Malley. Now, whether that happened or I just think I know Dominic well enough to try to slip that in there, I mean, we may never know. But I do want to see that match. And I am a little unclear on where Dominic wants to go and what he wants to do. I think he's unclear. I mean, I really think he reminded the world in that last fight of just how damn good he is. And the only guys that are going to beat him are world champions. And, you know, 135, it's just very interesting territory. Seeing a clear path that you could actually hang your hat on to get Dominic back to a world title fight, that's not likely. So what are we doing and who are we going to do it with? And I think when you start to look from the Frankie Edgars to the Jose Aldos, that represents one era, or even this new era of Sean O'Malley. I think Dominic can still go with those guys. That's my opinion. I think Dominic Cruz is as good as he's ever been.
I agree.
He's a tough night out. Dominic Cruz is a tough night out for anybody.
Yeah, I don't think
his angles on Sean O'Malley would crush him, I feel.
Wait, is Dominic Cruz that far away from a title shot? I'd say he's 2 wins.
He could probably be a couple of wins, but you know, 135, that's a weird division. You got Aljo. Apparently, Sterling has to go back against Jan. Apparently, they're going to do that. Cejudo's saying he's coming back, but then I think a lot of people thought that that was just for fun. I don't think that that's serious. TJ is back, but now TJ's locked in there with Sandhagen. So it's kind of one of these things where if you look at the board and what pieces are available, a Dominic and a Sugar Sean is available. And for me, I think that's an interesting match. Really interesting.
I agree. I think you'll see exactly where Sean O'Malley is.
Yes.
I think that will bag of money, though, Henry Cejudo comes back. I think if they gave him Volkanovski, like a legit Volkanovski for the title, here's what we're paying you, and it was more than he's made his last fight, he'd be like, all right.
Against Volkanovski. Yeah, he's been I feel like he's been like picking on Volkanovski a little bit.
You guys
get a little weight.
You guys both competed at the highest level. It's tough to walk away. And Henry didn't walk away he walked away completely on top. So he has to still think, I can beat all these guys.
Sure.
He wakes up some days and he's probably like, to train, oh wait, I'm retired, you know, and he probably gets in the gym sometimes and fucks guys up. Same way Uriah Faber came back. Cejudo knows he would still be the best in the world. He would be.
I agree with you. And Dennis, to that point, you know, when Cejudo left, he told us the truth as to why. He said, if it's enough money, I'll come back. And without that, I've done it all and off I go. I only bring that up because if we were to take him at his word, and I do, he just lost the championship clause. His next fight will not be the defending of a championship, which takes him out of pay-per-view points, which means he's going to make drastically less. So that probably comes back to what you're saying, where it's got to be a championship fight, put that back in, even if it's Volkanovski. But it just seems like there's a lot of things that are going to be there that are really hard to return Dom to Henry to where he was because he walked away from him. You don't have the championship clause. You don't have it. He didn't have the championship anymore.
Yeah. And then what does Cejudo do? Did Cejudo make enough money in fighting?
Yeah.
To walk away?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's made millions and millions of dollars, if that's what you mean. And I think he's pretty smart with his money. He doesn't have, kids over here and a divorce.
I know he does real estate and stuff. So I'm going to say hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything. But I would think at his age that he could stand a couple of more fights.
So I'm sure.
How old is he? He's like
young, right? I think he's 32, 33.
He was 20 years old in 2008. So whatever that is. So it's 31 then. He was the youngest Olympic champion ever, and that was in 2008.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still young. That he retired and was like, "Are you serious?" He's 34. So yeah, he's the same age as you, Dennis. A little younger. But I think Cejudo's the best to ever do it at that weight. I think if him and Demetrius Johnson fought 10 times, Cejudo wins 6 of them.
Yep. That's high praise, and I happen to agree with you. Cejudo is absolutely amazing. And not to mention that Olympic, they're trying to do this champ thing or the champ. In many ways, it is Cejudo. Different sport of freestyle wrestling and a different weight class. A lot of people forget that, but it was a different weight class than he won his 2 titles in. I think he deserves credit for it, man. I think Cejudo's outstanding.
Yeah, so we're supposed to have RBY, is that how you say it? Yeah.
RBY,
right?
Yes.
Yep. He's supposed to come on later, and he's like flirting with the idea of Olympic gold. And I'm gonna be like, listen, dude, look at Cejudo. Listen, if you want to get MMA, go get some Olympic gold real quick.
Sure.
And you'll be fucking worth 10 times more than just a Penn State wrestler.
Absolutely. By the way, I'm half pissed off at RBY, so maybe you can give him a message, but I would love to know the answer on this, which is simply, he goes to the NCAAs, he has Fix. Now, Fix is the former world team member, ranked number 1 nationally, is supposed to be our representative to the Olympic Games. It's going to take an upset for that to not be true. RBY beats him. Big surprise, looked great doing it, and did it the hard way, which was overtime. Now, RBY, that qualifies him for the trials. RBY goes to the press conference, says, no, I'm not going to the trials because I don't have a weight class, meaning I can't make 121. Excuse me, you don't have a weight class? Well, there's always a weight class. It just means you got to go 145. If you can't go down, you go up. There is a weight class, and he is into the trials, and he says he's not even going to try because he's one of these tweener weights. It surprised me. It disappointed me, and I don't agree with it. RBY, you have a weight class somewhere. Go get on the scale, and they'll tell you which one it is. You got to go to the trials. You got to go.
Yeah. And was this past weekend his last chance to...
Last chance qualifier, which, by the way, if I was to tell you not who did qualify, if I was to tell you who didn't, you would be stunned. By example, Mark Hall, 3-time age group, world champion, 2-time NCAA. Mark Hall is not in. Is not in. He didn't get in through any of the qualifications. He's out, won't be at the trials. I mean, when you start to understand things like that, that's what you're going to really appreciate what Gabe Dean is doing or what Dake versus Burroughs are getting ready to do. Imar's now out, sadly. Imar had to pull out today. Something happened. Imar was the only one that could realistically disrupt.
You got RBY. RBY just jumped in.
Chad, you want to time yourself?
Is this RBY?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like RBY. What's happening, buddy? We were just talking about you, but here was the question that I was hoping that they would ask you later, which is, after you beat Fix, and congratulations, that was an incredible match. But after you beat Fix, that automatically qualified you for the trials, and your comment essentially was, "I'm in between weights and I can't make 121. I'm not going to go." RBY, don't you have to go? You just got to go 145. What am I missing? Why are you not going to the trials?
I mean, I'm going to watch, but I mean, I wrestle with Nick Lee and Zane. I wrestle with Nick Lee and Zane every day. I know the answer to that.
Oh, well, that's a lot of sportsmanship by you. Hey, by the way, if we're going to talk 145, who is going to make that team? Is that going to be Zane?
I got my money on my PSU boys. It's going to be Zane and Nick. I haven't seen the brackets yet. Going with Gilman at 57. That's my guy. And going with DT at 86. I'm going to pick Kyle Snyder, 97. And then I'll probably pick JB at 74. Heavyweight, I'm going to go Gable.
Who would you predict that, by the way, speaking of David Taylor, who would you predict is going to come through that tournament? Is it going to be a Gabe Dean showdown?
I don't know. I can't count on my roommate, Aaron Brooks.
Sure.
At the same time, I can't count out Bo Nickel. I don't know. So he, too. That's going to be tough. I'm excited to be there and watch. And I wish I was wrestling, but it is what it is.
You can't make 121?
It's 125. I'm like 45 right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been that low since.
You need to turn your phone.
Oh, turn it.
Yeah, there you go.
1 sec.
Is
that better?
Yeah. Roman Bravo Young, officially welcome to Menace and the Man, Stan the Man, Dennis the Menace Mudez, the largest arms in Westland, Oregon, Chael Sonnen. And now we're joined by the 2021 national champion.
That's the champ.
That's the champ.
So Roman, let's stay on this just for a minute. So you're talking about David Taylor. I forgot that Nickel is in that term because Nickel was flirting with the other weight class, right? Nickel went overseas and represented upper weight. I forgot that he officially settled in there. So what would happen if there was a Zahid versus Nickel showdown? Has that match ever happened?
It's happened. Zahid's beat him before, but it's crazy. I see all these matches go down inside the wrestling room, and obviously I'm not gonna talk about what happens, but I think it's a pretty fair game. It's gonna be an interesting tournament, and I feel like there's one weight class. It's just someone unexpected is gonna come out on top.
There's also some guys that are, Dan Gable in the wrestling room, but when the lights shine, I mean,
Actually, all your guys, when the lights shine, they show up. But when push comes to shove, sometimes people they get a little extra,
Yeah.
So it's tough to say.
Yeah, you really don't know at a tournament like this. And then these guys have been training for this for 5 years, and it's finally happening. So it's gonna be crazy.
The perfect example, Dennis, like someone you always talk about that was like that was Gregor. You could fuck Gregor up in the practice room.
Oh, Gregor was a piece of shit in the wrestling room, and then he would come when every tournament he wrestled in.
So hold on, guys. I got to stay on wrestling because I don't get to talk to somebody of RBY's stature very often. RBY, let me ask you another question. So Mark Hall did not make the trials, which I only bring that up because that really speaks to how goddamn hard these trials apparently are, right? If a 3-time world champion age group can't make the trials, right? Pretty tough. But AJ Ferrari, is there any rumor going around? Is he planning on entering this? If so, I assume 97 kilograms. Have you heard?
Yeah, he's wrestling as far as I see. I think I saw something on Instagram when he was getting ready for the trials, and I feel like at that point, if you do qualify, you should wrestle. But I mean, I'm not doing it. But I did qualify for the World Team Trials in September, and that's there's gonna be 10 weight classes, so I'll go 61 kilograms. But as far as I know, AJ Ferrari is wrestling.
And Ferrari made some comment, by the way, on ESPN after he won the title, which was that he's going up to heavyweight. Is that true? Or are you hearing these rumors? Is a Gable Ferrari showdown possible in the future?
Maybe. I don't know what Gable's doing yet. That's my guy, but I just think Gable's the baddest man on the planet at all weights, and I think he proves himself every time, and he has fun with it. So that's just my pick.
Ready for this? Who can jump higher, you or Gable? Because that dude's layout and backflip, I was like,
yeah, he can move different, but I think I got a little bit more fast switch than him.
All right, I'm with it. Jesus.
So RBY, what's the next move now for you?
I'm just chilling, giving back. Gonna go hang out. I train with Dominic Cruz. Train with whoever wants to train. Give back to some kids, do some camps, and then I'm gonna try to make the world team at 61 kilograms in September. I think that's when it is. But for now, just celebrate a little bit, hang out, but just stay training. That's pretty much all I do. Train with others year round. That's it. I've been doing some MMA stuff too, so that's pretty fun.
So you're not chasing Olympic gold. You let it pass.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally in 5 days, and I can't make 25.
Well, because I was talking to Chael earlier, is your market, because you want to get in MMA. Right?
100%. I wouldn't say 100, but I'm dabbling in it.
Right. And listen, I have got no doubt in my mind, right? You could throw some hands. Obviously,
You're doing a little sparring, right?
Yeah.
Hanging in there. You could take down fucking anybody.
Exactly.
Your marketability is probably 10 times more if you were a gold medalist or even placed anywhere in the Olympics.
No, yeah, 100%. But I got more. I still got a lot of years of wrestling in me, and it's just bad timing right now, especially trying to make the weight. I don't even have a plan for it. I mean, I could have maybe tried to kill myself. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been that small since maybe freshman year of high school. So
what's Chael have to say? He's just like, okay, or he wants you. Like, what was his thoughts on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chael respects whatever your decision is. He's not going to force his guys to do anything, and it's pretty much up to you. He was happy I won, and he just wants to see his wrestlers happy. He's not going to force anyone to do anything. And so it's pretty much my choice. And another reason is, like, I'm really close with Thomas Gilman. He's the number 1 seed this weekend, and he really took over me and under his wing every single day since he's moved to Penn State. He's really helped me a lot. So, I mean, I really don't want to wrestle him either, just because he's really changed my life and he's got me a lot better, a lot more mentally and physically stronger. So I just felt like, even me trying to kill myself, and if I had to wrestle him, I just wouldn't be right, because I know he's the one who's helped me a lot to get this NCAA title.
Well, listen, we've asked you like 4 questions, and like you don't want to fucking do it. Hang on, ready for this? Whether you have all the skill to do it or not, if you don't want to do it, you wouldn't win. So I mean, the fact that you're like, you got to be like, yeah, I'm about to go get that, and
yeah, you can't be half in for this kind of this shit's no joke. It's the toughest tournament, baddest dudes, anyone can win. You can't be half-assed something like this. This is Olympic gold we're talking about, or Olympic spot we're talking about. So it's kind of like you got to be all in for it. And in my mind, it wasn't. I already know. Sometimes it's kind of hard to make 33, and then now I'm kind of. That's 8 more pounds we're talking about, and I'm already skinny as it is.
And Roman, how's Nicky Freestyle going to do in this? He's going to be right in there, right? He's going to be a problem for someone.
Well, listen, all those guys are going to be problems with Siriano. He's so hard to score on. He keeps a good stance, and I really don't know who's going to win. Fix. I just wrestled Fix. Fix is good. They all have the pedigrees. I'm going with Gilman. That's my guy. But listen, they can go either. That weight class is just, they're all good, and they all have their own style. So I wouldn't even know who to put money on.
Well, and speaking of Siriano, though, is he coming back next year, and can he? Does he have eligibility with the NCAA for next year?
Yeah, I mean, everyone. Yeah, I think he has. He has another year. I mean, we all have. I still have 2 more years, because this year Torch Algebra didn't count. So I'm pretty sure. But I know for him, like this Olympic gold, that's what's on his mind.
Oh wait, did they give you guys a year of eligibility back because of COVID?
Yeah. So I got 2 more years, and I still have a red shirt too. So.
Oh, okay.
They treated this. Here's my understanding. RBY, correct me if I'm wrong, but they treated this year, Stan, as though it didn't happen. Didn't matter if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. It's like it didn't happen. So if you were eligible this year, you are eligible next year.
Yeah, there's some dudes who are like, there's some dudes who could be like 25 still wrestling because this year didn't count.
So, like, my guy Piccinini, though, gets totally smoked.
Yeah, so he smoked. Mark Hall Mark Hall can't come back. Right. Chenzo, all those guys got washed out, but everyone this year got lucky.
So a question I had, if you eventually do MMA, it'd be like a year or 2 away?
MMA, no, that's probably like 5, 6, 7, 8 years away. I'm going to wrestle freestyle as long as I can.
How old are you now?
I'm only 22.
Oh, all right, so yeah, you still got years. But then you see someone like, I was going to say, like Downey, for instance. He's like 27, 28 right now, right?
Yeah, Downey.
So he's got to get into MMA now.
Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know the time spent on that stuff. I kind of just go with the flow right now, but definitely something I'm interested in. I don't know if I want to get punched in the face for a living, but we'll figure that out soon.
Well, how is it going with Aljamain?
I mean, we only wrestled, we grappled. He was like 15 pounds bigger than me, and but then we did a little grappling, and he choked me out. But I knew what I did wrong, but I haven't really dabbled in that. But now I'm in it a lot more, so I've gotten a lot better. Been going with some black belts and stuff, and I can take all of them down, and just learning me being on my back and stuff like that.
Like I'm saying, for the feel of it, yeah, because Aljamain's obviously one of the highest level.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. I wrestled him. He was big, and he threw me for 4 actually, so that was pretty fun. How to find my way back. But yeah, I mean, he just feels like another human being to me. Nothing really different. And then grappling, that was like going against a black belt, my first JITS match ever. So.
Hey, fellas, I got to tag in real fast. We're talking about Olympic wrestling. I actually got to jump on a call with USA Wrestling about the trials. Great seeing you all. Roman, great to meet you. I feel like I know you, but I guess it's our first time. Pleasure, gentlemen. Take care.
Man, that was awesome. Yeah, hey, Roman, sorry, like he comes in and just gets thrown right in the gauntlet. Like, why did you do this? Why'd you do that? I'm like, dude, this dude's gonna hate. It's funny because
right before you got on, Chael was like, I got something.
Chael was going on about you. Like, tell him I'm mad at him about this and this. And then you came in like, hey, Chael, you want to tell him yourself?
Yeah, I know a lot of people want me to make the weight, but it is what it is.
Hey, listen, it's a good problem to have that people fucking are behind you and think you could do and achieve great things. Yeah. That's sick, dude. And if you're like, listen, you just want a fucking national title. You can fucking chill on that for a second.
For a little bit, at least, yeah.
You know, and that's your first national title, right?
Yeah, at NCAA, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, if I knew deep down I can do it and feel good, I'd definitely do it. But there's so much unknowns, you know.
Well, here, something me and Menace
your main focus was winning a national title. If had that been, you know, COVID and out, yeah, you'd probably be training for freestyle for this Olympics because.
Well, like we talked about, Menace, was that the dream, RBY, to be an Olympian, to win an Olympic gold medal? Like, is that's on the list of things to do, right?
No, yeah, 100%. But check this out. I wasn't even qualified for the trials if I didn't win NCAA. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I didn't win, I wasn't going to be able to qualify for trials. So what if I didn't win? You know what I mean? It was always at 50-50. So it wasn't really, if I won, yeah, but I didn't really even know if I was going to be qualified.
And what have they said as far as, are they doing the next Olympics in 2024?
I have no clue, but.
Or are they going to fucking go off that year and make it 2025? I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing, but obviously I'm going to try out for that. Either I'm going to go down or up. But if I go down, I got to do it a smart and different way.
Graduated college by then. Where
Yeah.
you can focus fully on.
Exactly. If I want to go up or go down, I can focus fully. But right now I'm at 33 and I'm doing good. Who knows if I try to really kill myself at 25, it messes my body up. Because I don't have a lot of body fat.
How tall are you?
People. I'm like 5'6".
Okay.
But I'm a little skinny though. I'm not too thick.
My thighs are humongous.
I mean, Menace, you got a lot more wrestling experience. I would say go up, right? And try to get the maximum out of the performance. What would you say, Menace? Would you suck the weight or would you try to go up?
I mean, he's got to be honest with himself and the competition around him. I mean, when he watches people wrestle, right? In our heads, we go, I can beat him. Oof, that'd be tough. Or I don't know. I mean, maybe RBG doesn't think that, but like in my head, I'm pretty real with myself. Like, man, this guy.
Well, what's cool for me is like I'm in one of the best wrestling rooms in the world, so I can gauge myself, right? So Zane,
real quick, because we had Mark Hull on the show. Is there? I forget if he told us like why did he go over to Penn?
When the fuck did we have Mark Hull on the show? You have Mark Hull on the show?
Hang on, not Mark Hall.
We have Bo Nickel on the show.
No. We had Hall on the show.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know he moved, I'm pretty sure.
I was like, dude, I'll come to Penn.
Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. I was thinking of someone totally different. Yeah, Mark Hull. We had Mark like on like 4 episodes ago. Yeah, my bad. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, so it's just a thing. It's just a thing called RTC, right? You do it after you graduate, and there's obviously money involved. They bring you as an athlete. They pay you to train there. And, you know, at Penn State, there's so many big names, Olympians we're talking about, multiple-time world champs, multiple-time NCAA champs.
There's not enough money.
It's not that there's not enough money, but you can make more at other places, if that makes sense. So it depends. It depends how much – it depends if you're looking for the money or you want to – wrestling-wise, you got to stay at Penn State. But if you're looking toward the future and money, and I think you want to be a coach – it's kind of like, why not go to Penn? But then, as you can see, maybe because he went to Penn, he hasn't really had the best training, so that's why he didn't qualify. So, like, you never really know. It could work out for you. It couldn't. Just depends on how you can adapt.
Yeah, because he said Chael gave him like, hey man,
Do what's best for you. It wasn't like, yeah, you think it's better over there? Like, okay, fuck off. No. And then, you know, he also said like he's welcome in your guys' room whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to take trips back and forth.
Chael and his coaches are probably like the most understanding coaches, and pretty much all on you. Like the way I see it is, you have all the best resources you need in that wrestling room. If you want to win, it's all on you, and they're just going to guide you as best as they can. They don't yell at you. They just all do is good people.
I just don't. You guys are a fucking machine over there.
Just everyone wants to win there, and everyone just.
You were in high school, right? Penn State was already on this like tear of like, all right, we own this whole thing. Yeah. So when did it click in your brain? Like, yep, I want to go to Penn State.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna be real. I didn't even know what Penn State was growing up. None of my family's been to college. I'm from the hood, you know. Got some gangsters out here, Tucson, Arizona. You know, it ain't nothing like them people up in Penn State. So I got there.
I went to Bloomsburg.
Yeah, I had to get up
I went to
there.
Bloomsburg University. I know what it's all about.
Yeah, I had to get up there and adapt real quick. But I just say when Chael called me, I didn't call them because I didn't know what Penn State was. I don't even know if I'm from Arizona. Arizona wrestling is not that good. I didn't even know if they were looking at me. But after really thinking about it, they needed a lightweight, and it's just they're winning national titles. Just why not? Let's send it.
Well, Arizona wrestling, you could say isn't that good, but a couple of fucking studs have come out of Arizona.
Yeah. It's good, but it's not good nationally compared
right?
to PA.
Cejudo, even I know MMA, Cruz, Justin Gaethje's from Arizona.
What's the dude fighting against Calvin?
Kelvin?
Good Calvin.
Who are you talking about?
Calvin that's fighting at 185.
That's fighting Kelvin.
Gaslam. Yeah, Gaslam. Yeah.
Gaslam's from Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, he asked me, we were talking, I might go out there. He wants me to come out there and train.
Oh, you're probably getting hit up from everybody because you're probably a great guy to have in the room, especially anyone around 135, 145, 25, 55.
I break all those dudes. I go in there and I just make them go.
Yeah, I saw that.
You just got done fucking around with Dominic Cruz. He's got you in for this camp?
I'm last camp I was in. I'm going out there next week. When I get back from the trials, I'll be out there, and he might. I see some rumors that he might fight Sean or whatever. If that happens, I'll be with that camp too. And so that's gonna be exciting. I'm really close with Dom, and my footwork that he taught me is what I did all year long. Helped me out. People had no clue what was going on.
Chael was just telling us.
Wrestling or for MMA?
No, the footwork he was using, I implemented it into wrestling. And if you guys watch some of my matches, I was just dancing around on people, and they're like, "Wow, what is this?" And it was pretty fun.
And yeah, right before Chael joined us, he was telling us how he pretty much probably started that rumor of Dominic Cruz versus Sean O'Malley.
Yeah. So if that happens, I'm in on that. That's going to be exciting, and I feel like Dominic could beat him. Don't get hit. I'll wrestle him, and I'll get him ready for that.
But yeah, I saw you out there. I saw you in a video with Dom Cruz. I wasn't sure if you were out at Alliance or whatever. Then I saw you with our boy Eric Uresk, who's one of the coaches out there. And I was like, oh, he must be at Alliance, training. And then I saw you even putting on the gi in a video recently.
Well, I'm just put the gi back on in Tucson here, and they asked me if I wanted to come roll, and I just rolled yesterday. But beating up some white belts, they didn't know I knew what I was doing, so it's pretty fun. Beating some blue belts.
Oh, yeah, you're probably in there, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Anybody, take them back and put him in a full Nelson. He's not even using the gi.
Yeah, when you're your level of wrestling, when you step on a jiu-jitsu mat, you're pretty much a blue belt. You just have to know not to let your arm get twisted in 2 different ways. If not, even a higher level, you could probably make some really good guys look bad.
Yeah. Well, so when I go train with during the pandemic, I went to train with Juan Archuleta and TJ Dillashaw, and we have wrestling days, and then we have jiu-jitsu days. So I'm teaching them wrestling, or then we're just scrapping. And then when I go jiu-jitsu, I'm learning everything too. So it goes back and forth. So I do whatever they do. So that's why I learn. And then when they do stand up, I'm learning and watching. So that's why I've been picking up on it. And that's where I kind of just slowly catching on, just being around it.
So real quick, and don't be modest, because TJ is a round of 12 guy. His shit is pretty good. What's the gap between you and TJ?
I took him down before. But
obviously,
the thing is, we didn't really wrestle. We were getting Juan ready, but we did a lot of jits. I mean, he tapped me out. He knew what he was doing. But he was in the summer. He was huge. He was at least $160. I'm 39, 40.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you've seen TJ's looking extra thick now.
No, he's coming down, but
they booked him versus Sanhagen.
All these guys, all these guys are good dudes. They all show me love. I show them love, and I'm just about building my network, and I like learning from everyone,
Oh, even that. You're around two of, right there, Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw. That's probably that's the Mount Rushmore of 135.
Yeah.
And then you put Cejudo on there, too, and then you're coming from a similar background as Cejudo.
Yeah, we talk here and there. He always has my backs. He posted me after I won and just message me. Just they just all reach out to me. They know that I have potential, but it's kind of just gotta figure out the right way to go about it and stuff like that.
So real quick, so you're on the Menace and the Man Show. So we talk about man shit, right?
Fucking do it. Yep.
So real quick, we're going to get away from, this is going to be fun, all right? So Penn State, my buddy Dan Valma, I used to be roommates with him here on Long Island. He was like, yeah, me and Chael used to kind of butt heads because he didn't like that I drank. and I talked to Mark, and like, he drinks. He was national champs. I'm like, do you drink? And you guys just, Chael doesn't know, or?
So I don't drink during season. I didn't drink all season, but
right, yeah, but he doesn't want you guys drinking at all, right?
Yeah, it's probably not the best. It's probably not the best thing. But after I won this past week, I was on like a 5-day bender, and I was just every night, throwing up and stuff. But it was good memories. But now I told myself I'd only celebrate for a week, and then now I'll casually drink here and there, but I won't send it like I did these past 5 days.
Right. Here, RBY. Wait. Menace, everything's allegedly here, RBY. That might have happened this past weekend. It might have not happened. You might just be telling a story. So allegedly.
You might be making up stories, and we like it.
Yeah, I don't know if it happened.
So here's what we talk about on Menace and the Man Show, right? Obviously, we talk about fighting and combat sports.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about drinking a couple of booze.
Yeah,
100. Girls that you're banging or how many, and then street fights. That's for I'm gonna hit.
We'll start there. He comes from the hood, so he's definitely been in some street fights or seen.
No, listen. I haven't been in any street fights, but at Penn State I get scared. I don't really try to mess with too many people. We've been in some frat incidents, but it's never really been too. Everyone's really not. I don't know. Everyone talks the talk until it comes down to it.
Yeah, most people don't want to fight.
And Stan's actually amazing at this, and I've watched it. Like, I'm probably similar to you. Roman is like, if someone starts to, I'm like, nah, you're good. Like, I'll beat your ass. Like, yep, you will, and I will do everything in my power to defuse it. Stan does the same thing. He tries to defuse it, but they look at his size and they're like, "No, I want to fuck this dude up." And it's really funny. And but then I've watched Stan step to people, and when it gets very real, people bail.
Yeah, there was this one in the summer, and these dudes were trying to kick me out. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. Then they start getting all wild.
You're in a frat house?
No, it was like a rented Airbnb, and the whole wrestling squad pulls up. Well, a couple of us, and then we're hanging out at the gymnastics
in Penn State.
Yeah, around the area, and then it was just like I was like, "Listen, we can go outside right now." We walk outside, everyone's around him, and none of them do nothing. They're just like, "Wow!" Like all the girls there watching, and they're just like, "Nah, we don't want to fight you, bro. Can you just leave us?" It's like, "Come on, bro, you're acting cool in front of everyone," and now that we come outside,
right? And then the worst thing that you could learn you could learn the hard way real quick is if there's one or two wrestlers that enjoy fighting or hurting someone and they implement their wrestling in that situation, like you're in a bad spot right there. Like just leave the wrestlers alone. Leave the wrestlers alone.
Take them down, put them in a chokehold. They're going to be asleep in front of everyone.
Stan, I didn't tell you about this that happened. So a buddy I work with, Change Yards, Anthony, so we had like a going out party for him, right? We all went to the bar down from work, right? Drank there. Then we went to my house, showered, got changed, went to the brewery. And I'm like, let's go to the strip club. So we're in the strip club. We're in there hanging out. And then the strip club closed at 11. So we get outside and this huge black dude goes up to my buddy Rich and was like, and goes to Anthony. He's like, "I don't like your fucking friend." And he's like, my friend's like, "What?" And kind of gets on his like heels. And I'm not there because I couldn't get my Uber to work. But I'm like, "Hey, I'll go get some road sodas." Anthony, get the Uber. So I come back like, and this huge guy, like my buddy looks like weird. I'm like, I'm drunk. I'm like, whatever. So I just go in between this huge black guy and my buddy. I'm like, "Yo, Rich, I got you a pizza." And the guy's like, "No, that's my pizza." And I was like, no, it's not. I got it from my buddy. He's like, "Yeah, his pizza's my pizza." I was like, then I don't know. I just started like, "No, it's not. I got it from my buddy." "Nah, that's mine's now." And then I got like, "It's not." He's like, and then he tried like flexing on me. and he was like, listen, there's 4 of us, there's 3 of you. You guys aren't trying to get run on. I was like, I don't give a fuck how many people you have. Like, Stan, you would have been proud.
Oh my God, I would have been right in.
I never fight. So I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck if you had 20. Like, he was like, and when I got like puffy, he started scanning me. He's like, oh, you got those ears. I was like, yeah, I got those ears. And meanwhile, my buddy Anthony's like trying to pull me up like UFC highlights. I'm like, Anthony, put that away. Because that's going to be like what this guy needs to be like, oh, let me see where I'm at.
Or right there, they're going to be like, all right, let's hop this fucking kid, and then we'll worry about the other 2.
But
you gotta take me out, Dennis.
Ears, and he was like, no, we're good pretty much. And I'm like, yeah. I felt good for myself. I felt tough.
You gotta take me out with you.
Oh,
100%, RBY. That's the type of shit that we run into. We run into just people that it's just, listen, buddy, we're cool. And they're like, no, we're not. It's that time. And you're just like, man, really, the wrong one. Like, I trained my whole life. You don't want to run into me.
Yeah, I don't think he said that. I think he said we got to take him out with us. He wants a party.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying to him. Oh, what do you mean? I said that's awesome. I'm saying what happens is when we go out, I've seen people start with you too, Menace, and like be like, nah, fuck that kid. And then I'll be like, wait, all right, well, I'm gonna fight for that.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't even process that they were starting with me.
Yeah, but I'm saying
RBY, like, listen, New York's a real happening spot. If you're ever in New York City, me and Stan will take the trip and we will hang out. We'll do this.
Or if you ever come to Long Island, train with Menace, or you ever come out here to train with Almeida.
I have some camps in New York that I just set up too, so I'm gonna be right there.
Where?
A camp in Danbury, Connecticut, but it's like 45 minutes from and then I see my boy Justin that's with me right here. He lives in Yonkers, so that's like 25 minutes from the city, so we'll be right there.
Oh man, we're gonna get RBY drunk as fuck.
No, champion.
Well, maybe
so
we'll
there's that.
We'll get him a tuggy from the massage parlor or something like that.
But street fights, growing up where you grew up, you just never had I never really had a fight growing up where I grew up.
Yep. I had one in 8th grade, this kid. He's messing with me, 8th grade. Blast doubled him, punched him up.
Hang on, how much did you weigh though in 8th grade? 90 pounds?
Yeah, and then we got in a fight during school and I just ran home.
So wait, how old were you when you started wrestling?
Like probably like 5 or 6.
Oh, so from the crib pretty much, like as soon as you could walk.
Yeah, I've been doing it a while.
So I'm getting my kids into jiu-jitsu first before I get them. I want to see how they react to jiu-jitsu first. If they're like on top, they're aggressive with the takedowns. Before I get into wrestling, before I'm like, hey, listen. And then even with wrestling, like, listen, you want to have fun or do you want to do this?
Yeah, I'd say
you're going to do this, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, take your time with it. There's no rush. And then the biggest thing I think I notice now is just, especially at Penn State mindset, why they're so good is let them have fun with it. Don't put pressure on them. And so winning and losing doesn't fucking matter. Like you don't remember what you won in 8th grade, what you won in 7th grade. I think a lot of people, and especially like some dads, are always putting so much pressure on their kids to win and lose, and like it's just not fun. So like I think how I've grown is just I have no pressure, and I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for anyone else. And I think a lot of dads kind of ruin the sport, a lot of sports, because they just want the kid to be the best right away. It comes over time.
Yeah, I've watched it in a few like wrestling clubs where I'm like,
yeah, like they don't chill out.
Right, you're yelling in his face, dude. Like, can I talk to you over here? Like,
yeah, that kind of used to be a segment on the show where we would talk about bad wrestling dads and shit. We'd always bring it up. That's
like a bunch of guys trying to live their like what they weren't able to do.
Exactly. This is not fun for the kid. They gotta have fun with it. Wrestling's a hard sport. Everyone knows that. You're gonna take your ups and downs. But like Chael says, like before we go to nationals, who won NCAAs in 2010? No one could fucking name them. It doesn't matter. No one's gonna care about you in 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's just run of the wrestling match. And once you get that mindset, I think your game just elevates automatically.
Ooh, Chael says that? Or Chael says that?
Yeah, our coach, Chael Sonnen.
I like that. So he almost like takes it out of it. That's a way to like take the pressure off you guys.
Yeah, listen, it's all take a step back. Perspective is how he is. And I think that's why you notice we do so big in the biggest matches, right? We had 4 NCAA champs. No other team did that. We all were. Some of us were the number 2 seed. We find a way when like just a big match and you find a way to win, just because little things like that.
So it's in overtime. Because I watched it.
Yeah.
We're like, whatever.
Well, for me, I'm just calm. I keep a straight face, but I mean, he got sent into overtime off a stalling clause. That's kind of bogus, but I knew how to find a way. If you get too crazy or get too upset,
I see that too, and I was like,
yeah. If you get
see motherfuckers, and I hate it. They're winning, and they just shoot to the leg and just fucking hang on. I'm like, all right, fuck it, because I've had it done to me. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. But I get it.
Yeah. If you get too wild up in those moments, I think like you can catch yourself slipping up. So you just gotta stay the same the whole match. That's just what I do. But yeah, if you get too wild up because you're losing or a stall call, one split second could, you know what I mean? Like all those matches, if they wrestle 10 times, you'll probably get a different result every time.
And that little fucker, is he strong? Because he's looking like a little tank.
Yo, he's so strong. He's good. Yeah, all respect for him.
But yeah, you're doing the
by the way,
Simmons.
Fix, which I'm talking about, by the way. He used to wrestle with Piccinini. He's a weight class above Piccinini.
Oh, what, from Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just beat, right?
Pitch will probably tell you he's a monster.
Monster.
Wow, so good. That's why I'm like.
So real quick, the next. Oh, that's real quick. How did you get over that? You watched him like win worlds and like.
Yeah, I've been like, yeah, this kid's good, and then I was like, oh shit, I beat him. Damn, on paper he's better than me, but found a way. You know, wanted it bad. I manifested. Just wanted it.
Now I think a lot of people don't. I've manifested, if you will. Well, maybe I didn't manifest. I would do a lot of mental preparation before my fights.
Yeah.
But I never really envisioned myself having the belt. And maybe that's why I never got the belt. It's just, I was just so focused on the next fight. You know what I'm saying?
So like after practice, we have a podium in our room, get up there, close my eyes. I wrote every day since January in my journal. 133-pound NCAA champ. I wrote it 100 times before the match. That was just like just in my head constantly, but not to the point where I'm being too obsessive and crazy about it. But letting them know that that's what I want. That's what I want.
That's where I feel like I fucked up in college. If I'm gonna go down this, is I wanted it so bad. I think it hurt me.
Yeah, and that's why like, and a lot of people too. You really want something bad a lot. But you can't just focus on that every single day. Like I'd go out, you know, hang out with people. You gotta let loose sometimes too. Because if you're just constantly every day worried about wrestling, it kind of drains you too. So that's why I think getting out, you know, Chael, we were blowing balloons at practice one day. We'd go into practice for 20 minutes. Like we'd do stuff that teams would be like, what? Play dodgeball whole practice and like gotta like let loose.
Yeah.
So here I got a two-part.
Because my John Stutzman, he had just become the head coach, I think, where it was rare for like a rub down day where like you'd grab a partner and just rub your guy down and then do to him because he's going to, you know, give you a massage later. But that was, and then it'd be like light drilling and then we weren't going hard enough and they were turning into a full blown fucking.
Yeah, they do a good job. They're really smart at peaking at the right time. I think that's what they do. But again,
like I said, it was his first year, which I think, you know, things changed. All right, back to Menace the Man shit.
So RBY, two-part question. What's the roster looking like of females? And then something that's jumping around in my head. Is there a difference?
I think someone walked by.
Is there a difference?
That's my mom.
Oh, okay.
Mom, say what's up. Say what's up.
Yeah, what's up?
That's my mom.
Thank God you pointed that out, because the next thing out of my mouth was going to be terrible. But yeah, do you have a girlfriend at the moment? We'll keep it respectful. All right. Because yeah, I was going to be like, is there any difference between being an All-American and the national champion and what gets thrown at you, things like that? But
I tell you straight up, ever since I won, there's people who hit me up, girls, people I don't even know, like even some moms. It's kind of weird, you know.
The DMs are flooded.
Yeah, 100%. I can't even keep up with it, and it's like, oh well, where are you?
Oh, even something I was going to say earlier. You're working with all these fighters and all these people hitting you up. It's only a matter of time if he hasn't yet before DC slides in your DMs. And it's like when you come into AKA, because I know they recruit wrestlers like it's their job.
Oh yeah, I'm actually Kyle Crutchmer actually wants me to go out there, so might have to check it out there one day.
Oh, yeah, because that seems something that was going in my head. Him and Piccinini could probably give each other really good work, getting ready for
100%.
Or wrestling.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's a lot of options. That's why I really don't know I don't really know the fight games. I really don't know what the best option is to go. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing.
And then even, I don't know, is that everywhere? Are the Russian wrestlers everywhere? Like, are there Dagestani or Russian wrestlers in Arizona, or are those just like little pockets? There's little pockets, so there's one obviously.
Definitely. I mean, not even little pockets. That's it. Just a couple pockets.
Yeah, very few and far between.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Dagestan is not that big, bro.
What'd you say?
Dagestan is not that big.
No, very small. That's what I'm saying. So if you went to AKA, you get that look too. You get that Russian Dagestan look that's obviously very predominant in wrestling and kind of a staple right now in MMA.
Yeah, we gotta get Roman on when his mom's not around. I want to know about the girl game. My speakerphone?
No, my mom's just right here. She's cooking dinner.
What's she making?
I'm on speakerphone, bro. Right? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you right now? You're in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. I came home. I'm not trying to be at Penn State right now. That shit's whack. During that was the longest season of my life. Getting tested every morning, go to practice, go home. That's it.
Oh yeah, you guys had to practice like at a different facility and stuff, right?
At first, yeah. Then we got put on pause. We couldn't even practice for 2 weeks. We got like 3 matches canceled. It was horrible.
Oh, you're on spring break right now, right?
No. I'm home for good. I'm all my classes are online.
Oh,
like if people listen,
you're like, what the fuck?
If people listen to all of our podcast episodes, they'd be like, why the fuck are these guys so pro Penn State? We literally keep having Penn State wrestlers on, or Penn State.
Those are the elite wrestlers that are thinking about doing MMA. So we're like,
yeah.
But I'm saying it's also just elite wrestlers. Like you guys fucking kill it constantly.
No, 100%. I mean, and if you guys want another prospect that wants to fight is Carter Sirachi. That dude would be a lethal weapon. He just won at 174, and he's a beast.
And he wants
No, he wants to fight. But I'm saying a lot of people really don't know him or that. But like, he'd be great. He'd be fighting. He'll step to anyone. That's definitely a beast right there.
That's another guy. And we had Bo Nickel on. I know him and Kassar are planning on going into MMA after the Olympic run right now.
Yeah, everyone wants to.
That Bo said was possibly thinking MMA, but you guys having great success in wrestling, and it seems like you guys transitioned very well into fighting. I think Chael would have been great in MMA if he would have transitioned.
Wow,
Listen, I'll tell you what, that dude still whoops up on anyone in that room, so call it what you want.
I heard that. Oh, yeah, Mark was telling us that.
Listen, that's the best dude still. I think if he wrestled at the Olympic team and took it serious, he'd make it now. He's the best in the wrestling room, all weights. I don't care who's in there, but no one sees that stuff. I mean, I see it firsthand.
So RBY,
how old is he now?
Probably 40. He's still young.
Around his 40s, but he trains every day. Everything. He's a beast.
I don't think Chael's that old. But are you following fighting? Like, do you watch fighting at all?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so what do you think? Obviously, it's kind of a circus act of fighting, but we were talking about it with Chael, one of your wrestling buddies, or a wrestling. What would you call that? Like, I don't want to say, I guess alumni. Ben Askren's pretty much representing MMA and wrestling going up against Jake Paul here.
You know, I trolled him a couple times. I trolled Jake Paul too, but I mean, I don't know, it's kind of silly. If he's getting a bag to fight him, why not? But if Ben Askren loses, like, I don't know. I mean, the way Ben Askren is towards some wrestling is kind of iffy, so I really don't agree with some things or how he is, but if he loses, he's canceled forever. I don't even want to hear him. I don't even want to see him tweet again.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to be.
I don't care what he's done or what he's won. If you lose to Jake Paul, I just can't.
He should win, though. He should win, though. You know what it is. That high of a level. An Olympic athlete or a national champion, what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
Jake Paul's never going to touch that. Can't touch that.
Yeah. Well, but then again, I really don't know. All it takes is one punch, and that's what I've been learning in the fight game. It just takes one punch. So I really.
Yeah, but they have big boxing gloves on.
Yeah, I mean, Ben doesn't have Ben's hips are 70 years old too, so it's kind of it's actually something that like it's crazy that they make a lot of money for it. But I mean, I want Ben to win, but I wouldn't count Jake Paul out either. I don't know.
I'm rooting, man, obviously. But, so you're a big MMA guy. Who's like your favorite fighter to watch?
All the Russians.
Okay.
Everyone on. I don't know how to say the last name, but everyone Khabib's been coaching up. You know, I pay a very close attention. Their little ankle rides, they do it. That's how I drill myself. So like when I'm doing double legs in wrestling practice, I always hook the ankles. If you watch my finals match, I rode one ankle, but I do double ankles when I'm just drilling, just because that's what they do. But yeah, I really focus on little details and mostly the wrestling part. I really don't understand the boxing IQ yet, but Dom's teaching me a little bit here and there. But I train with Shane Burgos. I really like Shane. I like all those dudes. I don't know. I waste a lot of money on some people that kind of upset me. So I put a lot of parlays up, and I've been losing.
You used to say Burgos. How'd you wind up training with Burgos?
He was out. My boy trains there at Tiger Schulman's, and then I've been out to him with there, and then we trained a lot before this season started. Him, Julio, Ars was there, and there's a couple guys. They got a pretty good little squad out there, and I just some wrestling and rode with them. Yeah, I rode with Jimmy a lot actually. We would be scrapping. He's kind of
You're good.
I accidentally muted myself. Can you hear me?
No,
You're good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we went with Jimmy a lot. You know, I'd take him down a little bit. He'd get really mad at me just because you know how Jimmy is.
He's a firecracker, dude.
Bro, yeah, he'd be like, oh.
They're killers. That whole Tiger Showman's team.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Stan?
The whole Tiger Showman's team is killers.
Yeah.
I'm with all them, and then I'd go Jimmy, take him down. He'd be like, but if I had gloves on, I would knock you. You know, it's just funny. But it's cool. You know, it's cool, though. I go out there, teach them some tricks. I show them wrestling, and then they just all show me love, and then they tell me that I should fight. And I hear that quite a bit, but I still haven't really found that passion for it. But I just like really being around it, you know, and just helping these guys in wrestling. And then I really like that. So eventually one day I want to work with some fighters too and just teach them wrestling, what I know. I know a lot of tricks, but I really don't open up. So I'm a quiet guy yet, so people really don't know what I have.
You've done some sparring though, no?
What?
You've done some sparring with boxing gloves, no?
Yeah, 100%.
So you know what it's like to get punched in the face.
I mean, I haven't been hit super hard yet, but
well, that's the whole level changing direction.
Like when I'm sparring, I'm dancing around, and then when they mess up on something, taking them down, I just sit on them.
Yeah,
but
like there's been a few times like early, like coming off wrestling, getting some sparring where I would shoot at a guy. They didn't see it coming, and I shot right into like expecting a sprawl, and I just I hit him with my knee. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
You know, you're used to like a higher level.
Yeah, higher pace too, and
they're still stuck in the mud. You're like, you fucking fuck.
Yeah, or like I like when I'm sparring, sometimes I would throw them for like a 6-2 play, and like it don't mean nothing. Or I take them down and just pop right back up, and then you get to the fence, and that's a whole different story. Yeah. That shit's brutal. That fence, and then I was actually with Dominic. He's pushed me up against the cage. I was cutting up my hands. I'm like, bro, this hurts. This is not for me.
Oh, and even rounds with Dominic, he's probably one of the most frustrating guys you can do stuff with. Because he's probably endless tricks, endless stupid little things that you're like, really? He just hit me with that? Like, really? But
until I get him tired with the wrestling, I got that good pace.
Yeah, that's what you need in fighting, too. Like we were talking about that earlier with Chael. You got a weaponized pace. But RBY, we'll let you get out of here. We know you got some food cooking. You see what we're doing here. Let's get you on again.
Yeah, we want you
here, but we also want you to – we got some things to talk about.
Let's get it. Just let me know whenever.
All right, sounds good, brother. Congrats again on the win.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm a big fan, big dog.
Yeah, yep. That's strange too. Peace.
Good shit. Good kid. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah. Well, very well spoken. I think that kid's very marketable. He could be very marketable in MMA.
Yeah.
But
and he also knows what he wants.
But like you said,
you know, I mean, it wasn't like he got pressured into like
give him that Olympic team marking or whatever medal he can get in the Olympics, and his value in MMA goes up skyrocket.
I mean, being a national champion is, I mean, look, the UFC pushed Josh Koscheck like that. Gregor, they get, you know,
being a national, even an All-American, Chris Weidman, you'll get put, even a Division I wrestler, you get pushed big. Like they talked about that every time you fought, being nationally ranked and stuff, or Frankie Edgar being a national qualifier, or Gray Maynard. But he's got a very well-spoken and almost that niche, if you will, that he's from Penn State. He's young. I'm a fan of RBY. I want to see him go into MMA sooner. And
why is Mike Perry so far down on this next card?
He's lost like 4 or 5 in a row, bro. He's not doing good. Shit ain't sweet for Mike Perry right now.
So they're giving him like a cholo.
No. This is that guy. Look at this guy. That guy is fucking tough.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is not a good fight for him. I mean, any fight's tough in the UFC. Yeah, this is not a pick. They're not giving Mike Perry this fight to win. This is a fucking scrap right here.
Is this a make or break? Like either we're cutting you or
he's one of those people you think they might keep him because,
How many losses is it?
I think 4. Let me check. But he's
I don't think who has the most losses in a row except for BJ Penn, right? It's BJ Penn, right?
Never mind. He's only got 1 loss in a row, but he's lost 3 of his last 4.
Okay.
So all right, no, his job's not on the line. But the guy he's fighting, Daniel Rodriguez, that guy's fucking good.
I don't think I've ever seen him fight.
You've probably seen him. You just didn't pay attention. He fought Tim Means, Dwight Grant. He fought some good guys and beat them. But even I just saw it today, right before we went live, this main event got canceled.
Darren Till versus Marvin?
Yeah.
Vittori?
Yeah. And if you look at this card without that fight, it's not that much.
Yikes.
Yeah. The homie Sam.
Hang on, ready for this? This is going to sound a little wild, maybe. You know who should be the new main event?
Who?
Nina versus Mackenzie Dern.
100%. I don't disagree with you, especially when I'm looking at this list. I would say Nina versus Mackenzie is 100% the main event of this card.
How old is Nunez's child?
She just had birth.
Or Nina to be fighting already?
I don't know. Give me 1 second. Just talk shit about him. Back 1 minute.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Fuck you piece of shit. Anyways, so Mike Perry versus Daniel Rodriguez. Not really sure. I've never seen Daniel Rodriguez fight. Stan says he throws down. Mike Perry's real kryptonite, though, is like a wrestler with any kind of jiu-jitsu. But Nina versus Mackenzie Dern, like I was saying, how long has it been since she's given birth? Because Mackenzie Dern gave birth and came back too quick, and then she lost. I feel like that's what they're trying to do here. Like,
no, I mean Nina took the fight. She's ready to go.
No, so did Mackenzie Dern, and then she lost after she gave birth. She gave birth like
who's on this
like 3 months or some shit like that.
And we need to get on the show is Impa. What's his name? Impa Kasangane. He's the guy who got hit with that jumping, spinning back kick.
Oh.
But he was undefeated before that, and he trains at Sanford.
Okay.
And, like, you ever meet guys in fighting, and they're just the nicest fucking, you're the nicest guy I've ever met?
Oh, so you met this guy recently being out
Yeah,
Florida.
I met him a few times, yeah. And I might have got his phone number and talked about coming on the show. But
who wins, Nina or Mackenzie Dern?
Mackenzie.
I think so too. I feel like, listen, I think she's a good fighter, but I think she got a high level fight because of who her wife
and she
is. Then she did win, but
she's an overachiever. She beat the Claudia Gadelha fight is what she hangs her hat on. And I think that was more how bad Claudia did versus how good Nina did. Like Claudia was going through shit or whatever.
I agree.
But she has some big wins. Angela Hill's solid. Randa Marcos is solid. Claudia's solid. She got fucked up by Tati.
Yeah, but all very, very close.
So Nina's last fight, she had she had won 4 in a row, and she got the Tatiana Suarez fight, and Tatiana just fucking smothered her, and then Tatiana hasn't fought since.
Right.
Because of the neck injury. But Nina hasn't fought since either. So Nina hasn't fought.
Well, Nina gave birth, so
yeah. So 2 years, subtract the 9 months, maybe. Yeah, I don't know how long. I have to look into that, but I would go Mackenzie if she didn't have a baby.
If Nina didn't have a baby.
If she didn't even have a baby. So now throw in, oh, she had a baby. I'm definitely not going Nina.
Do you have any odds on that?
Why what do you like on it?
I just because I mean 5'11" is a huge gap.
What'd you say? 5'11"?
5, Nina's number 5, and Mackenzie's number 11.
Especially when you're number 5 and you haven't fought in 2 years. How are you even still number 5?
There's only like 7 girls in the weight class.
Not 135 or not 115 or what is it? It is 115, I think.
Oh wait.
Right.
How is Mackenzie Dern 11? What? 10 girls are better than her.
Well, remember she lost that one fight to who beat her? Mackenzie Dern. Did she lose to Amanda Ribas? So yeah, Amanda Ribas is right ahead of her.
Okay, what fucking 9 girls are better than Amanda Ribas?
I don't know. I think Amanda Ribas is fucking good.
yeah, I agree.
Let's see. So currently, for some reason, I mean, they got. I guess inactivity, you fall down a little bit, but let's see. Mackenzie Dern. I mean, if you look at like Tapology, they have Mackenzie at 10. So wait a minute. Whoa. Are we getting into this now? Is Nina Ansaroff still ranked number 5 because of who she's married to? You know, because I'm looking at the Tapology rankings, and they got Mackenzie at 10, and they got Nina at 13.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when I look, so she lost the decision to Amanda Ribas, and since then, she's beaten Hannah Cyphers, Randa Marcos, and Verma Junju.
I could see Nina being ranked 13. That makes sense to me.
Okay, but even this isn't a good fight. The UFC is probably being like, okay, we've got to kill her for you right out the gate. What's her name? Mackenzie's won 3 in a row. So Mackenzie's won 3 fights since the last time that Nina fought. And Nina's coming off a loss to another grappler in Tatiana Suarez. So we've seen the hole in her game, if anywhere, is grappling.
Yeah.
Are there any? Did you find odds on there or no?
Yes. Which fight were you talking about?
Nina versus Mackenzie?
Even. This website that I'm looking at, odds.
Because I'm constantly trying to make bets to make money to add on top of the Ben Askren fight.
They're both 110. Let me check what is the odds on this site. So they're pretty even right now.
I'll throw 100 on
Mackenzie right now, or 110.
Yeah, if they're even, I think that's a fucking pretty easy fight to pick, I would think. Am I missing something?
Uh-huh.
What am I missing there? Yeah, they're even. They're both minus 110.
So I'll put 100 on, or one, whatever. Is it 110 to make 100?
Yes, $100. 110 would get you 100. Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. So I can put another $100 on the.
All right, so you want to bet $110? You want to bet $100 on Mackenzie Dern to win this fight?
$110 to be exact.
Oh, $110. Okay.
What can get an even 100?
And then I don't know what I'm trying to see what the reason was for Marvin Vettori versus Darren Till falling out, but I think that was a great fucking fight.
Love that fight.
I love that fight. I think the winner of that was the clear next contender. Because Vettori's right there too, especially after that last fight.
Yeah.
He's a fucking killer, that dude.
What's Gastelum? 5 or 4? What's he ranked?
Gastelum?
To be next for.
Oh, Gastelum fell down, bro. Gastelum's on that losing streak. Oh, no, they still got Gastelum at number 8.
Oh, Gastelum stepped in last minute, too.
Oh, no, Gastelum just won his last fight, but he was on that losing streak.
And he stepped in last minute to fight Whitaker.
No. Who did he fight last time? Not Whitaker.
No, he's fighting Whitaker coming up.
Is he?
Yeah. He stepped in like last minute. Whitaker was supposed to fight Costa. Costa pulled out, and now Gaslam's in.
Oh, they were supposed to fight for the title. Is it going to be 5 rounds? Okay.
Main event?
April 17th, yeah. So, no, what is Gaslam? So, what's his name's coming off 2 wins? Yeah, Gaslam's coming off a win over Ian Heinisch. But before that, he had lost 3 in a row. So now Whitaker, that's not an easy fight for either guy.
I tell you what, if he wins, he's right in there for a title shot. Or he fights the winner, Darren Till. Well, that fight's off now. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. Nobody's beaten Whitaker except for Adesanya at 185. So if you beat Whitaker, here's your title shot.
Yes, I agree.
Like even if Jared Cannonier would have beat, even Darren Till, if Darren Till would have beat Whitaker, title shot. If Cannonier would have beat Whitaker, title shot.
Yes.
But because Whitaker got smoked so bad by Adesanya, they're like, you got to win a couple more.
Yeah.
You're doing good, but so here this.
So let's continue up the ranks here. Sam Alvey versus Julian Marquez. Why do I know? Oh, is Julian Marquez? Is he the one that hit on Miley Cyrus?
Yes, and Julian Marquez is the one. I've been playing phone tag with what's her name to get her on the show because he does a podcast with Kendra Lust.
Miley Cyrus?
No, he does a podcast with Kendra Lust, the porn star.
Oh, that's right.
I'm trying to schedule it to where we get Kendra on for a little bit, ask her some porn star questions, and.
Do you think he ever got to go?
No, she's been married she has a guy, but you never know. Maybe they have an open relationship and she let him hit it. And then she was like, you know what? I like the way that dick went. So you're my new podcast host. That's possible. I want to get them on and ask these questions.
Yeah.
And then she was very open to it. And then I haven't followed back up the last time I tried to schedule it, but I'll circle back to that one after this fight. But even then, do I want him to beat our boy Sam Alvey? No. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I want Sam to win because of the Menace Man show rule.
Sam Alvey needs this win, too.
I know.
He might be the guy, actually. How many losses does he have in a row? I think he has a little losing streak.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, 1, 2. He's got 4 in a row right now. And then he has a draw in his last fight. And his last win, who do you think is last?
Who would the draw to again?
Do Un Jong. Remember him and the Japanese dude just beat the shit out of each other? And then he has a split.
Why go to a draw?
It was a split draw. One judge scored it for Alvey, one judge scored it for Jung, and then one judge scored it a draw. I think there was a point deduction in the fight. I forget. But and then he had a split decision loss to Ryan Spann.
Now, does a draw save your job? Like you have to reset the losing streak?
Yeah, I would say.
You think?
It's not a loss. But it also depends on who you are. I could see them cutting a boring wrestler or a boring grappler on a draw, but I don't see them cutting Sam Alvey. Sam
Alvey hasn't knocked anybody out with one punch in a while.
No, it's been a minute since 2018. His last win was actually Vellante.
And even that was like close, wasn't it?
Split decision, yeah, and it was 2018. Yeah. So Sam Alvey needs this one. I'm rooting for Sam Alvey.
Yikes.
Yeah, he really
Now, the next fight, Kyle Daukaus. Did I say that right?
Kyle Daukaus, yeah. I think he's from New Jersey. But the worst thing is this card just got switched to ABC. So they have a big spotlight, but they don't have the fight, if you will. Oof. I wonder if they're going to bump a fight up or do something, or I don't know what they're going to do.
Or they'll probably just grab 2 superstars like, hey, do you want a boatload of money?
On a week's notice? I mean, there are fights next week that they could bump up, but I don't think they're going to do that. But let's see. We'll know, I guess.
The guy that Kyle is fighting, is that dude a Russian?
That Kyle Daukaus is fighting? Let me check. I was just trying to see if there was any fights they could bump up. There's not really. Ooh, Jakar next week. Jeremy Stevens is going up to 155 to fight Jakar Close. Ooh. And then next week also, 2 weeks. Next week is also the rebooking of Jessica Penne versus Hannah Goldie. There's some good fights then, but they don't have anything that could really take the main event slot for this card.
Why did Penne and Goldie get booked? One of them got COVID or some shit?
Yeah, the one guy got COVID. Yeah, this dude is Dagestan. The guy fighting.
I gotta go with that guy.
Oh no, it says Machakala, Russia.
I'm still going with that guy.
Yeah, this dude seems like a killer. This guy, I remember him from the Contender Series. He fucked the dude up. And then he's undefeated. He's got more finishes than decisions. He seems like he's fucking solid. But Kyle Dawkins is no joke.
Yeah.
This guy Dawkins, if it's the guy I'm thinking of, yes. This guy.
Yeah, he's like a good kickboxer.
Yeah, him and his brother fight in the UFC. There's Chris Dawkins and Kyle Dawkins. Chris is, I think, a heavyweight, and Kyle is, what is he? A middleweight.
Middleweight.
Oh, so even then, we got to get them on the show and be like, was Chris just fucking mauling you your whole life?
Even yesterday?
Yeah, like growing up, you had no toys, you had no video games, no nothing. Your brother took everything.
So last fight, potential main event.
Arnold Allen versus Sadiq Youssef. That's a weak main event.
Didn't Arnold Allen didn't he? Does he bounce back and forth between featherweight and
lightweight?
And lightweight?
No, I don't think so. He might have been a lightweight back in the day, but I see him. He's got some good wins at 45. No, he's 45 in the UFC anyway. He beat that guy, the French dude, Marquand Armacani, the guy with all the girls. He beat Jordan Rinaldi. He beat Gilbert Melendez, and he beat Nick Lentz.
Jordan Rinaldi is a lightweight.
No, he moved to 45 after Gregor.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. Right after.
You know, Jordan Rinaldi beat me before I got in the UFC.
Yeah, I know. He caught you with the uppercut.
Fucker.
He caught you with the uppercut, and then he caught you in a choke, right?
Yeah, I wasn't home.
Yeah, well, I think
I'm gonna go Arnold Allen because he beat Jordan Rinaldi.
I'm gonna go Sadiq Youssef because he beat Julio Arce.
Oof.
Oh no, not Julio Arce. Who did he beat? I'm thinking of the other guy.
No,
no, he didn't beat it. He beat this dude. Beat Andre Feely. Who's the guy I'm thinking of that beat Julio Arce? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Is that the red mohawk guy?
No, that's Mark Giacchese. The one guy who beat Arce in like a really close fight, but it was like razor thin. Oh, Hakeem Dawodu.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Hang on. I mixed those two up too.
But I'm still going Sadiq Youssef in this fight. I think he's solid. Team Lloyd Irvin is 27. He's coming off a win of Andre Feely. Andre Feely's no slouch.
He's all right.
He's all right. But, yeah, this isn't really the card we can preview, but we'll end it on this note. They're saying Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier rematch in July.
Okay.
Is this the end of Conor McGregor? Or is it... Because then even Chandler said, he's like, after I beat Oliveira, I'm fucking up Conor McGregor. But is Conor McGregor get past Dustin Poirier? Or is it going to be Gaethje versus Poirier?
Well, I mean...
Or, we had two things we got to get to Chael with. I almost need Chael on every episode, if not again next week. I need Chael's take on this fight, and I need Chael's take on Chandler versus Oliveira.
He just starts talking, and I feel like I'm in like a story. Like, yeah.
Chael took over our show at one point. He was like, "Listen,
I loved it. Because hang on, you should definitely clip that and give it to him, though.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna be like, it was at this.
RBG.
It was at this moment, Chael.
RYB or RBY.
You kept calling him RBG. I didn't even want to correct you.
Well, RPG. Yeah, that's it.
No, it's RBY. Is RBG the football player?
RBG?
You might, if I have to listen back, you might have even called him RPG at one point.
You see what I started doing, right? I just start calling him Roman.
But yeah,
I just know it ends in young.
And even that, Conor versus Poirier is always a great discussion, and we didn't talk about what's next for Ngannou. We got cut off by going elsewhere. So we'll end on this real quick. John Jones.
So I saw a little clip of Chael, and he said there's like 3 exciting fights for Ngannou, and only one exciting fight for Jones.
Yes. I mean, Jones versus Blachowicz has some weight right now, but Jones is done. Jones already said I moved
But that's
up.
not a heavyweight.
Oh, you're saying for Jones at heavyweight? Yeah.
I think that was the discussion. I mean,
Ngannou probably came out of that fight with no injuries, and they could roll him right into it, but UFC could easily do, I guess they kill a contender there, but they could do John Jones versus Derek Lewis. It might be tough because I think they have the same management, but they could do that for number one contender. Here you go. You want a super card? John Jones is moving up to heavyweight. He should get an immediate title shot, but I think Ngannou, you haven't defended the belt. You need a super fight after you defend the belt. Let Ngannou and Stipe run it back, and on the undercard, put John Jones versus Derek Lewis.
now John Jones. I feel like John Jones, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, they can only be the main event, probably in their own head.
All right, then what if we do a week apart or something like that, or a month apart? Let's do one, because even John Jones, what would he be, a non-title?
Yeah, but like, so Chael pointed out pay-per-view points. Like, Cejudo missing out on pits. John Jones is a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view points, also championship money versus non-championship money.
What's that?
It's pay-per-view points, but it's also it's championship money versus non-championship money. Like, I think your base pay is more if you're a champion. Like, you're guaranteed.
No, it depends who the fuck you are.
Okay.
Because Mighty Mouse was a champion. He was getting like $375, and I know some of these heavyweights were not champion were getting like $700,000 or $750,000. Like,
some of them had stupid contracts though.
Like win or lose.
Like, I know Verdum, Arlovsky.
Yes.
Some of them had like stupid contracts from before they came to UFC.
Yeah, like win or lose X amount of dollars.
But this was a great episode.
Thank you.
We'll do this again sometime. But no, I mean, yeah, he already beat Glover. Yeah, so what I'm looking at, there's not much for John Jones to do but go up and dominate or try to dominate heavyweight. And we talked about it earlier. I think he beats.
I think so too.
I think, call me crazy, John Jones is that fucking guy. I think Ngannou hits John Jones, and John Jones reacts, but he doesn't go down. Like, I think, or maybe he might even flash John Jones, but John Jones gets up, and John Jones fucks him up after the flash. Or he hits John Jones, and John Jones eats it, bro. I think John Jones is...
I don't think John Jones can get hit.
Clean. He can't hit. When you do hit him clean, his reaction...
Well, no, I'm saying if he does get hit clean, I don't think it matters.
You're saying if Francis hits him, it's done. I don't think John hangs out in the pocket and does what Stipe did or what we've seen guys do.
I agree. And I think he's so awesome with his range. John, they probably have the same range, right?
Yeah, but I think Ngannou wants to get close to you. He doesn't keep guys.
Right, I know that. But John Jones could use his range. So, well, also, like they were saying,
I think Jones
with COVID going on, these small cages.
Yeah, people.
That's in Ngannou's wheel well all day. It benefits him so well.
So, who do you think's a better wrestler, Jones or Stipe?
Jones
all day.
Yeah.
Who do you think's a better striker, Jones or Stipe?
Jones. Yeah. Listen, I'm just saying. Jones needs a little bit of space. The smaller cage does not benefit him.
And Stipe is huge. Do you think Stipe can make 205 or no chance?
I think he could.
With like the crazy lifestyle change and diet.
Like he'd be like ripped up and shit, and
Yeah. I think John Jones is
30 pounds of of trying.
Like, here's something I even wonder.
That would be cool to see.
So Stipe is tall. John Jones is tall. I almost want to, like, my brain is John Jones bigger than Stipe? Like, when John Jones is heavyweight John Jones, all filled out, his length, his range, he might be bigger than Stipe.
Yeah.
And I always thought I liked Stipe. I root for Stipe. I think John Jones would have beat him if he moved up. Ngannou's a dangerous fight for anybody, but John Jones is the guy. I think John Jones is the GOAT. I think John Jones' off night is you beat him by disqualification because he was fucking you up so bad. That's his off night is unanimous decision win. You know, he's fucking good.
I agree.
But we'll
I've had dinner ready for like maybe an hour or two.
What do you got to do?
I've had dinner ready for like an hour or two.
All right, so let's get to it.
All right, episode 110, good one.
110.
Well, see you later.